What's happening, guys? This is Logan Robinson from NoGameDay.com. We're here for a watch party between number 7 Florida State and Kent State. We did a watch party a couple weeks ago, went well, and going to run this one back and be here throughout the entirety of the game, not stopping at halftime or anything. We're going to go all the way from the beginning, all the way into the end. We'll pull up some highlights, stats, live reactions to some touchdowns. We're going to get a lot of backup guys from the 2 deep and 3 deep in here as well. A lot else too, some injury updates as well as the just announced the starting lineup, which we'll go through here in just a second. But Florida State into their 3rd game after a bye week, beginning the season 2-0, likely to go 3-0, and building a lot of momentum before that first ACC game on the road next Friday night against Virginia. But hope everybody is having a great weekend. It looks like Clemson is having a struggle again at home against Syracuse. I believe they're still in a weather delay. They had some lightning going on. So we'll be monitoring what's going on over there in Clemson. We know we have Florida at Miami this later tonight. So we'll also give some thoughts on that one as we get closer and closer. But nonetheless, Florida State, Kent State at home, sold out as well. I was getting some texts from some people. Also, too, my dad there that's in the stands said it's already buzzing. We've got about probably a little over about 10, 12 minutes until kickoff. I think it's at 3:35. So we got a little bit of time, but hope everybody is having a phenomenal weekend. It's college football, man. It's the best time of the year, and certainly too when Florida State's good. Tallahassee is a great place to be, but we're going to hold it down the fort here and watch from far away. But I think we go over to some updates here. We've got Dustin Lewis, who's our editor-in-chief. You guys know him here on the show as well, but he's given us some updates in pregame warm-ups. We'll throw these up here for right now. Looks like, so there was an update on Squirrel White. So he was warming up. We did see on his left wrist and his hand that he was fully wrapped up. Like it was a whole contraption starting from the hand going all the way to his forearm. We knew he injured that at East Texas A&M or against East Texas A&M a couple weeks ago, but as we just got an update 3 minutes ago, he is not going to play in this game. I think that's a great move. You don't need to throw him out there. You need him to be fully healthy and rested and fully recovered. Like I said earlier, Florida State goes on the road to face Virginia next week. And on a Friday night, going to be hostile environment. You have all of your guys fully rested for this game. It's going to be the same case, though, for a lot of guys, I feel like, in this game today for your starting lineup. I don't think you'll see a long period of playing time for Thomas Castellanos, Deuce Robinson, that running back room as well, at least offensively. It's going to be a lot like what we saw against East Texas A&M. But we did see Squirrel was warming up. He was fully dressed, so that's a good sign that recovery is going well for him. So we like to see that. What do we got here too? As well. So Mekhi Danzy actually is going to make his first career start, which I think is really intriguing here. Now, we do know LaWayne McCoy is expected to make his debut too as well in this game. Mike Norvell talked to us earlier this week, said things were heading in the right direction for him. He had gotten injured and really in the spring, also too in fall, and has been given a lot of time to recover fully, but the staff feels very highly on him. So we will see some LaWayne McCoy. He also did play at punt return last year. I don't know if that's going to be the case in this game. I personally wasn't a fan of having LaWayne McCoy back there. Also, though, you won't have Squirrel White back there. So I think you'll see Jalen Lucas back there, the former Indiana transfer. But here is Mekhi Danzy, who I think has been one of your top breakout stars. I know we only have had 2 games, but the way that he performed against Alabama and what he was able to show you too as well in his 2nd game against East Texas A&M, this is a star in the making for Florida State. And we've always dreamt of a speedster, a track star, one of those just nasty guys that can just break things open for you. That's Mekhi Danzy. And it's been really impressive to see how Gus Malzahn has been able to utilize him so quickly. But also to not only just, we know the speed factor for Mekhi Danzy, but also too, he's not easy to take down. And I think a lot of defenses are going to find that out in the hard way, just like Alabama did in week 1. James Williams was another one that we were monitoring. Here he is. Looks like he is going to be a full go for this game. I do think, though, it'll be a tad limited, but man, Kent State does not put out a great product at the offensive line position, specifically at their tackles. And some of these guys should be able to eat in the garnet and gold on defense this afternoon. Running backs, not a shocker here. Roydell Williams is not going to play. One we were monitoring, there could have been a potential for Keziah Holmes to play. He's not going to play either in this one as well. He's going to get some extra rest. So we are going to see some of these youngsters. And I think Cam Davis put out something on social media in the last 24 hours saying, no, it's his turn. It's his time to step up. It's time for him to show what he's been able to do developmental wise. We'll see what David Johnson, Florida State's running backs coach, has in store for him this afternoon. But we will see some Usman Kroma in there as well. I think this running back room is absolutely loaded, and it's even more loaded when you have an offensive line that can actually move people. So, yeah, let's go over to the chat. Also, too, I know we're just getting started. I already got 387 of you guys all across our social platforms, but let me know where you're watching the game this afternoon. Let me know. And let me know, too, if you're sipping on a beverage as well, because I think I'll be joining you in just a few. What's up, Mike? How you doing, my man? My man always coming up in here. Also got another Mike. What's up, Mike Bartz? We got Mark from Napoli. FI agent. What is this? I don't know what that is. I don't know why I put that up there. It is a beautiful, relaxing, fun watch for FSU fans today. You are completely right, Yanni. Yanni says, hopefully some sacks today. The O-line looks poor. Yeah, like I would have mentioned, and this is not a pretty, overall, it's not a pretty team for Kent State. Yes, they won a game this season, but it was against a team that I think all of us could put together right here in the live stream. It's not an impressive group that Florida State's going to be facing this afternoon. Samuel Singleton, good call here. I think we'll see a lot of Samuel Singleton. This staff, he's a guy that continues to get highlighted from Mike Norvell and Gus Malzahn. Even the defensive staff have given him props, going in from last year. He's given them fits. So I think we'll see a good bit of Samuel Singleton. That's a good call there from Yanni. Eric is watching from Pensacola. Wow, Yanni, all the way from London, England. But I love Pensacola, also to Panama City Beach. I used to go there all of the time over there to Pier Park. Texas. Okay. We got Texas in the house from Tim here. We got Crest View. Oh, nice. Coors Light. Beautiful, beautiful drink. I will be joining you guys here in just a minute in the beverages, 100%. Jonathan is watching from Mobile, Alabama. Jonathan, how was it talking with all of your Alabama fans in Alabama? I wonder what their reaction was to that game. Because I was sitting in Doak Campbell Stadium for that one and was on the visitor side and around a lot of the Alabama fans, and it was ugly. It was ugly. Hey, appreciate it. Yeah, definitely smack the like button down below. This allows for more FSU fans to jump in here, get some more topics, questions, or anything you guys want to engage with, but helps go out to more FSU fans all throughout the afternoon. We're loving these kind of watch party ideas. I see a lot of other places, definitely on the NFL side, they do these things on their YouTube channel. So I was like, why not? Let's go and give it a shot. And the FSU fan base, as we know, is very engaging. So I thought we'd give this a shot. Jake is watching from Georgia. Hell yeah. Tallahassee, baby. Sold out stadium, man. A lot of people at 67,000 in Doak this afternoon. Going to be a fun one. Let's keep moving down here. What do we got? Lawayne McCoy warming up here in the number 7 jersey, getting some stretching in there. He's got a sleeve on his right leg. That's where he was injured there. We also see redshirt senior defensive back. We got Shyheim Brown there. It's been an interesting kind of timeline for him going into this season because there's been some younger guys, some guys behind him. If you were saying, Shyheim Brown as a starter last year, now he's in that 2 deep practically. And, Ashland Barker has been a huge playmaker for Florida State and brings a lot of violence. And then what you get with Earl Little Jr. We had him on our show. love that dude's tenacity, the way that he plays, hitting some mother effers. That's how it should be in the safety room. So it's been great to see. Let's keep moving down here. What do we got? Thomas Castellanos. How do you guys feel about those white helmets? I think they're gorgeous. They're beautiful. I personally, I would like to see a little bit of gold in them, in the helmets somewhere. I don't know where you put it on the trim of the spear or something, but I mean, nonetheless, they're gorgeous. Definitely when it's beautiful out in Tallahassee as it is today, full of sun. As we saw earlier, Squirrel White warming up. And I think that is everything. We also saw Juice Cryer bring in the hammer today. He's full of business. Love to see it. So let's see if there's any more updates here that Dustin has put out. I know we had some starting unit updates. Let's see. Okay, no, we don't. It's going to be really intriguing to see what Mekhi Danzy does, guys. I'm really intrigued on that. I would say probably too, one of my biggest, there's not a whole ton of storylines when you're going into a lesser opponent like Kent State, but I think the biggest one to me is, who does Gus Malzahn roll out as QB2? I mean, I think that's a huge one. That's the biggest one that I'll be keeping a close eye on, because we saw Brock Glenn get into that game behind Kevin Sperry, and it made sense because Brock Glenn has been limited throughout fall camp because of the injury. It's been a nagging one, per Mike Norvell. Has kind of limited him and what he can do and getting down the offense and yada, yada, yada. But, will it be Kevin Sperry, who Gus Malzahn has been gushing about, showing a lot of love for him, or will it be Brock Glenn, who was your, QB2 last year behind DJU? Be really intriguing to see, because this is, after a bye week, you've allowed for Brock Glenn to get as healthy as he can be, if not fully healthy. It's going to be pretty telling. So interested to see what that looks like. But I know a lot of you guys are feeling Sperry. And I personally feel that route as well. I think it matches the scheme of what Gus Malzahn wants to do. If you go and look at some Sperry film in high school, I know he's just a true freshman, but he's a guy that likes to play with a lot of physicality with his running. He can throw. And I thought, too, the way that he led the offense and his first collegiate drive and his first time out there, didn't look like that was too much for him. Not a whole ton on his shoulders there. He just went out there and played and was able to read pretty well on the defense. So we'll see. We'll see what ends up happening there. We got some more Crestview in the house. We got New Jersey. Let's see, St. Augustine, beautiful, beautiful place. Love it up there. Jonathan's watching from Avatar. Good luck. I don't know if you're on a gummy or something, but enjoy the game. West Palm Beach was just down there actually during the spring for the NFL owners meetings. Beautiful place, very expensive, but gorgeous. Did I catch any of the other games? Well, I was mentioning when we first started, I think Clemson and Syracuse is one that I think we're all keeping a close eye on. Like, what the heck is going on with Dabo Sweeney and the Tigers right now? What's going on with Klubnik? There's no offense. Something's not clicking there. And Dabo Sweeney, whenever he gets feisty in press conferences, that means that things are probably unraveling behind the scenes as well. We've seen that before. I thought they would respond better, but Syracuse likes to come with physicality. Their coach has a personality of its own. Like, he has a lot of confidence in his team as well, and I think they rally behind that. And I don't think it's much of a shocker that Syracuse would come to play. I predicted that earlier in the week on our podcast. But what is going on with Clemson, guys? What is going on? The black uniform and white helmets. I want to see that too. I think that would look pretty clean. I just love an all black with gold lids. Night game, you got to have that in a night game for sure. Sperry QB2 is what you guys are going with. Andrea's in the house. Thanks for tuning in from Facebook. I think Earl Little Jr. will eat today. I think he will too. He likes to hit. All right, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. So Kent State has won the coin toss and has deferred. We will see Thomas Castellanos and Mekhi Danzy getting his first collegiate start here. We're going to see a lot of Usman Kroma in this game as well. But cheers to everybody. Let's have a good game. We'll also pull up some stats. We'll have highlights too, as well as they go on. It got a little busy a couple weeks ago against East Texas A&M, and there's no complaining about that. But kind of bear with me. It's just solo dolo for me this afternoon. No VZ, no Dustin. Austin is up in Minnesota watching. He's going to the Vikings. I forget who the Vikings are playing this weekend. Someone tell me in the chat. But here we go. Kickoff just happened there. I believe that's Cam Davis back there as well. At kick returning, you had Jalen Lucas too, but there's a flag right off the bat. The panic. Okay, from Nashville. You know what? Maybe I've been to Nashville once. I was really young, but I need to get up to Nashville. I've heard the bar scene is incredible. So sign me up. Let's go. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Tommy Castellanos and this offense have just taken the field. A lot of tomahawks on the back of Thomas Castellanos' helmet. No shocker there. This is just a quick handoff. This might go for 6 right off the bat. Gavin Sawchuk just opened up right off the bat. What was that? A 40-yard gain from Gavin Sawchuk off to the right side. Beautiful hole. Pettibon, Richie Leonard just wide open, just broke it open. Florida State's moving fast. Gavin Sawchuk breaking tackles. Another first down for Florida State. That's the thing, man. When you have a good offensive line and you're always recruiting top-tier talent at the running back position, and David Johnson has shown that he's been able to develop. It's nice. Thomas Castellanos takes this, and he runs for almost a first down. Looks like he's on the 4-yard line. Now, to me, I think all of us now, it was just like Jordan Travis. You don't want to see Tommy having to run a whole ton in these games, but you just don't want to see him get injured, certainly in a game like this. But here we go. It's interested to see who they put out here. All right, I think they're sticking with Gavin Sawchuk in the backfield. Gavin Sawchuk, touchdown to begin the game. Just like that, Florida State begins 7-0 right off the bat with 13:39 left in the first quarter. That's what you call too easy. I wish I had a too easy button, but that is a touchdown for Gavin Sawchuk. 4 plays, 65 yards, a minute and 21 seconds. Can you go ahead and say ball game? Wow. That did not take long at all. Let's pull up the stats. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, Gavin Sawchuk opening up on that 40-yard run. He's already at 55 yards on the ground on 3 attempts. Tommy's at 10 yards off of his 1 carry. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Jake Weinberg gets the extra point as well. Florida State already on the offensive side of the ball. 65 yards. Easy. Yeah, just like you said, Panic. That's I'm sorry, but that's just too easy. Way too easy there for FSU on that end. Yeah, I was going to say the band Marching Chiefs aren't even probably in their spot yet. Oh, that's hilarious, actually. That is actually hilarious. We'll see if we can pull up the highlight there on that touchdown. We're actually not even going to get a commercial here. Florida State's going to go ahead and kick this one off. ESPN didn't even have enough time to get to a damn commercial because that drive happened so damn quick. That's what I was wondering about right there, Mike. That is exactly what I was wondering. ACC Network has not been the greatest with us, definitely in camera, but usually too, announcing. It's a brutal watch sometimes. Yeah, I thought the offensive line looked really smooth there. Easy. I mean, that's the thing. If you show up, hold on, Kent State is wearing like Chargers helmets. Those look exactly like the Los Angeles Chargers to me. I don't mind them. I think it's pretty cool. Pretty cool uni. Got the Thunderbolts off the side. I like it. I like it. Who gets the first sack? I think James Williams is due, but I think it's going to be an interior defensive lineman, to be honest with you. I think Darrell Jackson. I'm going to go with Darrell Jackson for this. I'm leaning Darrell. Oh, my goodness. That just got blown up. I don't know what happened to Kent State, but Juice Cryer just took advantage of whatever the hell Kent State just did. Bad snap. Couldn't catch the snap. Juice Cryer's already coming in on a blitz that Tony White sent him on. Here we go. Darrell Jackson from the inside. Got a completion there. Elijah Herring there on the tackle. Was in coverage on him as well. I think they are the Golden Flashes, Yanni. I do believe. Here we go. 3rd and 9 for Florida State. Juice Cryer's coming in off the blitz to the right side. Kent State just tried to go off to the left and get with Wolford from Kent State. They can't get the first down. Interested to see if they try to go for. Yeah, they're going to go ahead and punt this. A 3-and-out to begin the game for Florida State. Nice stuff there. Kent State, though, just starting off the drive ugly with either a bad snap, miscommunication, or just couldn't grab the ball whenever it was snapped from their quarterback. But Florida State, 3-and-out. Yeah, that was going to be way too long. That was going to be a 4th and 3 for, what do we got? The Golden Flashes. Oh, that's a good punt from Kent State. Is that going to roll in the end zone now? Oh, that might have been a great stop there from Kent State. So it's looking like we've got 95-yard drive on the line here. Maybe 96. Wow. That's one thing Florida State is struggling in at the moment. Got to do better there. And punt return, special teams overall. But got to do better. Got to do better. Not the prettiest. You can't let these things bounce, man. Got to do better at fielding that. And Florida State's got to improve there. Ugly. Another deuce bomb. We could. Man, I tell you, Tommy Castellanos has shut up a lot of people, hasn't he? I thought he couldn't throw. First off, I thought he couldn't throw. Then number 2, I thought he couldn't throw the ball deep. Hasn't seemed to be an issue for him so far. And, he had a lot of talent there for him. And I know he had some comments whenever he left Boston College saying that, the talent differential in Tallahassee is a little bit different than what he had up there, Chestnut Hill with Boston College. But, Tommy, you got to give props to, Tony Tokars and Gus Malzahn, the quarterback room, coaching him. But we've certainly seen some improvement there. And I know it's only been 2 games, but a lot of these throws have been right on the money and deep, and at least taking advantage what his talent level is on the outside with a guy like Deuce Robinson. I mean, he's a special athlete, got a lot of skill sets across the board, long, rangy, and speedier than you may think. But also, too, I thought he showed a lot of, I would say, tracking the ball might have been, I don't really know how to really categorize it, but the way that he came back for that long touchdown throw from Tommy, you would say it's underthrown. But those two had been working on a lot of chemistry since right off the bat, even before Deuce Robinson committed and, signed with Florida State. Those 2 guys were working a lot. So maybe that was meant to be for a little underthrown and pull that shoulder back for Deuce Robinson to come and get it. But it so happened to be a one-handed catch for him and a top 10 highlight play on SportsCenter. So we'll see. I think we're going to get Chroma here. Yanni's going with a long Chroma touchdown. Okay. Okay. I would imagine that means he's probably like blown through multiple players for Kent State. Looking on the defense here, Juice Cryer leading the team so far in tackles, along with Elijah Herring. That was a quick 3-and-out for them. Not a pretty drive for Kent State. There's 11:42 left on the clock for the first quarter. Let's see. All right, so Clemson and Syracuse are back. So that game, just the delay is over. We will have Clemson and Syracuse here. We'll keep a close eye on that. That's actually perfect for us because what's better than being able to laugh at Dabo Sweeney live? So we get to do that here. But nonetheless, here we go. In Tallahassee, Florida State, Tommy Castellanos back out onto the field. Fake the handoff. Another deep ball coming from Tommy Castellanos. It's underthrown, but an incredible catch there from Mekhi Danzy. Wow. Holy smokes. Woo-hoo-hoo. Hello. God almighty. What a throw. I mean, it was an underthrown ball from Tommy there. Going to have to get used to that speed, but that was an incredible catch. Wow. What a catch from Mekhi Danzy. Wow. What a catch from Mekhi Danzy. Incredible. From the 850 Florida High and his first career start. I think we've got some Samuels. Yeah, we got Samuel Singleton in here if you want to class it as a RB2. But what a grab from Mekhi. We'll be bringing that up on the screen here in just a second. But damn, hell of a catch. Interested to see what we got in this tight end room too as well. You know, we have a lot of high hopes for Amari Williams because he's shown you as a true freshman that he can make plays, and it seems like he can be a playmaker for you offensively, but also too he was at the edge position too. He's a dual guy, but then too you want to see Landon Thomas take those strides as well. Looks like Landon. There's LaWayne McCoy there in the slot, number 7, guys. Looks like Florida State's going to get a first down here with Gavin Sawchuk. Oh, no. Yeah, that was a great catch. All right, LaWayne McCoy's coming off the field. We've got Deuce Robinson here at the bottom. We got Javon Boggs in the slot. Landon Thomas here blocking. Javon Boggs there, first down catch from Tommy. You know, and if we see Javon Boggs, and it hasn't been a crazy start for him so far. They haven't asked a whole ton from him, just a true freshman. But one thing to get out on the field earlier is blocking. And he did that with Malik McLean when he started as a true freshman. It was all predicated on blocking. But now I think they're going to try to get Javon Boggs a little bit more on air with him and see what he's got because he had an incredible high school career. His stat lines was absolutely ridiculous. So they like what they see in the true freshman, number 15. Let's see if Florida State tries to go for an attack here somewhere. You're right in the red zone. Gus Malzahn likes to take these shots. We've got Deuce Robinson. Let's keep an eye on the bottom here. LaWayne McCoy's in the slot. Tommy's going to take this probably for a touchdown. Just hops right in. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. And he bows to the student section. Easy touchdown there from Tommy Castellanos. 12 yards. 95-yard drive in 3 minutes and 23 seconds. As easy as it gets. All led by that big-time grab from Mekhi Danzy, which was an underthrown ball from Tommy. Whoa. So Florida State's trying to go for 2 here, and that just something bad happened. Some miscommunication. Someone not aligned in the right spot. That was a snap infraction on Florida State on the 2-point try attempt against Kent State. It was a pitch to Marquiston Douglas, but I don't know what happened there. Mike Norvell not too happy there as well. Wow. We're going to be pulling up that catch there from Akai Danzy in just a second. Wow. Wow, what a catch. What a catch. We're going to pull that up here in just a second. Got to get the tweet out. Wow. What a young athlete, man. He might be one of your most talented players on this team. Let's see. Let's pull that up here. Getting the tweet out. Mackay. Also, too, what do y'all think? What's going to be the over for this game? I think we're going to go back and head into the 70s again if I were to reckon. Mackay, Danzy. All right, there we go. Tweets out. Let's go and take a look at this play. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Pretty sure he had to just practically all acrobatics right here from him. Let's pull this up. Share the screen. Boom, boom. Wow. What a grab. Like I said, I mentioned, underthrown, good protection here in the pocket. There's Pettis going off to that right side at right tackle, pushing that defender back behind Tommy. He even might have had, I don't know if this is Deuce right here, but he could have even had him at that second level. Maybe that was Boggs. But boom. Wow. With 2 defenders draped on him in midair. That's the thing, man. That's something that Florida State, you just kind of outside of, Johnny Wilson, he would do that. You'd have it for the most part with Keon Coleman, but just putting themselves vulnerable to do anything in their power to catch the ball, something Florida State struggled in immensely last year. Great play from the young star on offense for Florida State. Excellent. What's up with Clemson? Great question. What's the score update there as they just started their game? What do we got? 13:04 left in the third quarter. Syracuse is up 24-14. Yikes. ACC, man. Only 3 ranked teams right now, Miami, Florida State, and Georgia Tech. We got Carrie watching from Inverness, Florida. Welcome in, Carrie. Here we go. Florida State's kickoff here. Interested to see what Kent State tries to do, if they're going to try to take some shots to get any kind of momentum going on their end offensively. It's not going to be easy, I'll tell you that right now, with what Florida State has at the defensive line unit. And maybe what's even scarier is that whenever you run to the 2 deep, those guys are impressing the most. So interested to see what they end up doing. Oh, Antonio Gates. Antonio Gates, I guess, loved wearing Thunderbolts on helmets because he played over there with the Chargers. Kent State's rolling out, taking a wobbly shot that's wide open. Oh, wow. Kent State might score here. Kent State just scored on a wide open wide receiver from Martin here. DeShields finds his wide receiver. Wow. That was not good. Let's go look back at this play. Faked that, just kind of took a wobbly shot to a wide open wide receiver. Jerry Wilson might have been in coverage there on number one. That should have been his assignment. Yeah, that was not pretty. Not pretty whatsoever. Let's go back and look at that. Fake run off to the right side. I want to try to figure out who was in missed coverage there. Kirkland was back there as well, but something happened, slipped right through. That's one thing, Florida State has done a really good job disciplined-wise and understanding where they need to be and not allowing explosive plays so far. It's only been 2 games, but that was impressive not impressive. It was impressive from Kent State there, but lackadaisical there in the secondary from Florida State. Yikes. Yikesies. I'm going to go back and see that play live again one more time. Let's see. Hard to tell. Maybe that was Kirkland's guy. All right, one's at the very bottom. Okay, so that was Jerry's. Jerry's at the bottom. He's talking with Kirkland. Jerry pulls up. Jerry thought that was a run, and Kirkland. Now that I would imagine that should have been Kirkland's guy. He missed out there, and Jerry's supposed to come down if that's a run play from Kent State. Not pretty, though. Not pretty at all. Got to do better. Ugly. I know Tony White does not like that. All right, here we go. 1st and 10 for Florida State on their 25. Another deep shot from Tommy to Mekhi Danzy again. Wow. All right, it's the Mekhi Danzy show, ladies and gentlemen. It's the Mekhi Danzy show. Wow, what a shot. This one, a lot better of a thrown ball from Tommy Castellanos, which is a 65-yard throw from Tommy. Here we go. We got Gavin Sawchuk in the backfield. Landon Thomas there blocking. Tommy Castellanos keeps the ball. Left side, takes care of the ball. Easy touchdown. Florida State responds. This is just, we might be looking at a potential 100-point game from Florida State University. Wow. Okay. Well, that's an answer from Florida State. Wow. Wow. Okay. All right. Here we go. So let's look at this real quick. 2 plays, 75 yards, and 35 seconds. Florida State responds that quickly. I mean, this offense is damn good. I know it's a smaller opponent. Kent State isn't anything special, but I mean, just to see, I think what Florida State is trying to do here with Gus Malzahn, start understanding what works best for you, what fits best for Tommy Castellanos, and also to respond from Tommy Castellanos, even though Mekhi Danzy made an incredible catch earlier, but this time throw it in stride to your guy that is one of the fastest in the country, and Mekhi Danzy in stride. Beautiful. Great shot there from Tommy, your QB1. Wow. Incredible. beautiful shot there. Here's a really cool shot here from, let's pull this up here on the screen. Why don't we? Here you guys go. Check this out. Check out this shot right here. This is from Peyton Baker, who takes some shots for Tomahawk Nation. What a beautiful grab there, man. Wow. What a shot. Let's get this bigger for you guys. I mean, look at his body. Look at his lower body. This man is bending and just two hands on it. Beautiful catch, putting himself vulnerable up there. Whoa, a star in the making for Florida State on offense. And you gotta love to hear that, because it was all talk this season. You know, your biggest deep threat, maybe he's Squirrel White because he's got that speed. And sure enough, he showed that against Alabama. But you know what you got with Deuce Robinson. But if you can match another speedster with what you got with Squirrel White, and you can add in, we'll see if we'll get some more from Javon Boggs today, but a more reliable wide receiver with his hands with Javon Boggs, you've got a really good wide receiver room, and this staff feels highly on LeWayne McCoy, who's making his debut today. So good stuff. Good stuff. Great start to FSU, at least offensively. We'll see how the defense, I would imagine Tony White's going to get these guys back mentally dialed in. I mean, that was atrocious. That was bad. I don't know what happened there between Jerry Wilson and Ashland Barker, or not Ashland Barker, but KJ Kirkland. I want to say that's on KJ Kirkland there. He should have taken that man, but he bit into the fake run from Kent State. Jerry Wilson had to drop down because that's his assignment, and sure enough, it broke open. But great stuff, man. So far from the offense, it's been a pleasure to watch so far. A whole 180 from last year, man. A whole 180. Let's see. Let's see what we've got here. I want to let you guys know too. I mean, Mekhi Danzy spent all of spring. Yes, there was some times for him outside of track to come hang around, maybe get involved a little bit in the spring, but there wasn't a whole ton for him because he was dealing with track 24/7. I mean, he was breaking freshman records for how well he was doing. He also, too, was going to nationals. Sadly, he got injured before that, or he would have been competing there. So it's really just he's been pretty limited in what he's been able to do. And two, with a new offensive coordinator with Gus Malzahn coming in, it's been really impressive how quickly both sides with Gus and also two, they've been able to implement him into this offense. But here we go. Florida State's defense is back out on the field. I got a Facebook post to get out, so just give me here just a second. All right, Florida State's defense has got to get back, get it together here. Let's see here. What do we got? We got James Williams off that left side. I'd like to see, he's bringing a lot of pressure, but I'd like to see him get to the quarterback, and I know that's something he wants to work on. Ooh, great play here coming off that left side, left cornerback position from Rawls, Jabril Rawls. Boom. All right, here we go. 3rd and 5 for Florida State. It's going to be a pass. Absolutely nothing there. Jerry Wilson with some good coverage, and the secondary, like that you like that response from Tony White's defense after a completely blown up play there in the secondary from FSU. Zeno is bringing up an idea here. Do you put Mekhi Danzy at punt returner? Need an improvement at that position? Well, to me, more than anything, it's like logistically, like understanding what you need to be doing is the first step forward. I mean, Jalen Lucas, he's got to be back there fielding these punts. He can't be letting these go and just drop there at the 10-yard line and at the last one down there at the 4-yard line. But I would be interested. I would really like to see Mekhi Danzy at kick return more than anything to allow him to build up some momentum. But yeah, like here, Jalen Lucas. That's if I were to say where Florida State has its biggest weakness so far in the 2025 season is your special teams in the punt unit. They've got to do better. And I don't know what it is with the issue outside of what you had with Keon Coleman. And we all were up in arms about why was your star, not just a starting wide receiver, but your star wide receiver at the punt return position. You don't want to risk an injury there. But, we've heard that Deuce Robinson has also been practicing at the punt return position. He's on the depth chart. So we'll see what they end up doing there. Like Jalen Lucas, that wasn't pretty either right there in the return that he had. But Florida State's got to do a better job there. This would help. I mean, not that the offense is lacking of it anyway, but when you get into tight games, you want to have some better field position, and you got to have better product there. Gavin Sawchuk. Here goes Tommy. He took a really big thigh shot there from Kent State. Running a little bit different today. Both hands on the ball. VZ brought that up on the podcast that during the Alabama game, and I think you saw a little bit of the East Texas A&M game, holding that ball out, not tucking it in. Seems like Florida State is trying to work with that on. Oh my goodness, bad blocking there from Florida State's offensive line. But going back to taking care of the ball, we saw Jordan Travis, and he did this a lot. If you guys remember, he would usually have both hands on the ball whenever he was running. I think that was because of the staff. It's very important to take care of the ball, of course. And I think that's kind of what we're seeing happen now to Tommy Castellanos. Got to take care of the ball. Can't be waving it around. All right, Florida State's in a 3rd and 12 here. Pushed back in their own territory. Gavin Sawchuk. We got Amari Williams in motion. Tommy's taking a shot to Javon Boggs. That's going to be right at the line here. All right, that's a good route ran by your true freshman, Javon, who I was speaking about earlier. Really consistent throughout your spring. One of your highlight stars, I would say. A lot of good things we were hearing. Here we go. Florida State's running quicker, though. And here's Javon Boggs again. Almost is actually about to grab another first down, but about probably a 7-yard gain. Can you tell? This is from Jim. Can you tell that this is the first team offensive line? Yes, it's looking that way. We got Gunnar Hansen. We got Richie Leonard, Pettibon. You got Medley. And then, yes. Oh, Florida State just tried to take a shot with Javon Boggs off the right sideline with a fade route. Almost there. Now, if that's Mekhi Danzy or maybe Jalen Lucas, that's probably right there, but almost. And I do like that Gus Malzahn is doing this. You can do this of the caliber opponent. Start understanding, start building that chemistry in game with your wide receivers and your quarterback. So. Okay, Florida State's going to get this first down again from a Gavin Sawchuk run. But yes, this is the starting unit for Florida State's offensive line. Need to do a little bit better of some push. We saw that on the first. I mean, we haven't had a chance to see them out here for a whole lot of time. Let's just be honest here. There's not much you can really be critical on. Syracuse now up 27-14 to Clemson. We got a fake play here. We got a pitch play, reverse pitch to Mekhi Danzy. Here goes Danzy again. Danzy's gone. Danzy's gone. Florida State has a superstar in the making on offense, ladies and gentlemen. Wow. He's dancing in the end zone. That was beautiful. 64-yard touchdown run from Mekhi Danzy. He's doing it all himself. A 2-minute, 47-second drive on 7 plays. And I love seeing Gunnar Hansen. Gunnar Hansen, great block there. He's down the field 30 yards, and you see your left tackle making that block. Too easy. Wow. Danzy's gone. Easy. Seeing Gunnar Hansen blocking 30 yards down the field for his running back. Great stuff there. And I would imagine Florida State's offensive lines coach, Herb Hand, will be giving a lot of love to Gunnar Hansen on that play. Not that Mekhi Danzy couldn't have put a move on that defender there, but I just love seeing that. And that's going to go, having consistency there. You go into ACC play, it's going to be a different play of competition next Friday night. You want to see these kind of things in your smaller opponent games, because easily Gunnar Hansen could have just folded around, and probably Mekhi Danzy either outruns the kid or puts a move on him. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Man, I love having a good offensive line coach, ladies and gentlemen. I really do. What a time to be alive. What a time to be alive. Speed does kill, Mark. That's guaranteed. What I love, too, I'm watching here on the screen, Florida State's sideline is amped up. Small opponent. Florida State's whipping that ass. And we got the sideline just kind of going crazy. Stan said, I said in the beginning he was getting 100 plus before the game started. Well, we need to listen to you more often, Stan, because you're spot on. Here they are showing some track highlights from him. I think, Raymond, I think that he's going to be getting a lot of helmet stickers. I think he is going to have a helmet full of stickers here. A lot of speed all across the board, man. All righty. Here we go. Florida State's defense is back out onto the field. Got about 3 minutes left here. Juice Cryer coming in for a tackle. There's a flag on the play. KJ Sampson is there and the defensive line unit. I like to see him make some progress here. That'd be huge for the Florida State's defensive line. We won't see Kevin Wynn in this game. All right, Kent State just got called for a face mask on their end, so that's going to back them up even farther. But going back to the defensive line, I'd like to see KJ Sampson take some strides, and I'm really excited for Kevin Wynn, Florida State's top-rated recruit from last year's class, jump in next week against Virginia. That's where he'll make his debut. If KJ Sampson can develop and we show progress there, I think I'm pretty sold on what I've got so far with Daniel Lyons. We know what Daryl Jackson brings, but Kevin Wynn could be a really instrumental piece to this defensive line when you add in the Desir twins, DeMonte Diggs, and what they like to do with Jason Jenkins all across that defensive line. Got some hard running here from Kent State. All right. We have here. All right, rolling out. That might be. Oh, my goodness gracious. Woo, Lordy. Is that Mandrell Desir? Yeah, Mandrell Desir. I don't know how that quarterback survived. I don't know how that quarterback survived. Boom! Get your ass hit. Get your ass hit. He ain't going to be wanting to hold on to that ball for much longer when you get a message sent that way to you. Have fun with that one. Absolutely not. I want nothing else to do with that. Look at Doak Campbell Stadium, man. Shout out to Doak. Shout out to everybody in Tallahassee or anybody that traveled for an opponent like this that Florida State's facing to show up like this and have a sold-out game. What flag was that there on Kent State? I've got the audio pretty low. What do we got, John? What whiskey do we have? What are we sipping on? I'm about to go grab a beverage too, I think, once the second quarter begins. Let us know. Put it down in the chat or the other side. Let me know what you guys are sipping on right now. Doesn't have to be an alcoholic drink. Alcoholic drink. Yeah, I guess alcoholic drink. All right, here we go. Kent State just tossing over to the right side. Nothing there. Fourth down. Florida State makes the stop. Quindarius Jones coming in here. Another guy that is kind of in that same boat as KJ Sampson on the defense for me to see some development, progress, improvement. Biggest thing to him is just discipline, playing with some discipline. And you kind of know that he's a really physical corner. So making sure that we're not causing PIs. Also, too, just understanding where you need to be, but just discipline, assignment-wise. Physicality-wise, I'm not worried one bit about him at all. And as we just saw, made a good play there. Florida State's going to send all, I think, here on this punt from Kent State, as they should. Oh, my goodness. Woo. That would have been blocked. That would have been blocked. Was that Cam Davis breaking through? Another flag on Kent State. I don't know. Another delay of game from them. They are falling apart. Not the brightest. Got some waters. I have water too. Got some water for right now. Oh, we got a Stella. I had a Stella not too long ago. I had one actually in Italy over the summer. Sweetwater 420. I've not had one of those yet. Now, does 420 have like some extra fun stuff in it? Just asking. Oh, Cam Davis almost blocked that punt in the end zone. All right, this is a smart play here from Jalen Lucas. Don't get near that ball. Let it drop there. It looks like it's going to be on the 46, 47, somewhere in there. Got some wine coming, Pam. Okay, I like it. Red or white? What are we thinking? I'm personally a red guy. I like both, but red to me, a red Cabernet, sign me up. Love it. You got some sweet tea? Hell yeah. Chick-fil-A sweet tea. I used to work at Chick-fil-A. So I used to make that in the back, and I love sweet tea. Dustin on here too, our co-host of Hear the Spear, absolutely loves sweet tea, but I love me some Chick-fil-A sweet tea, one of the best. Sunny's sweet tea too. If you know, you know. Coors Light and bourbon with lemonade. Oh, so we're mixing over here, Stan. We're mixing. I like it. We're mixing now. Man, you're going to be feeling phenomenal here at halftime. Holy shit. Here we go. Chris, grape Kool-Aid. Okay. I haven't had Kool-Aid in so long. Eric's got an IPA. Now, I love me some IPAs. And college, I didn't like them so much, but then I grew up and I just love the taste of them. They're just good sipping drinks. I live down here in St. Pete, so we have a lot of breweries around. So I like to jump over like Green Bench. We have Cycle Brewing down here as well. Three Daughters too. So we have a lot of breweries, and IPAs are a big play here. So I've been loving IPAs. As a fellow Steelers fan, help me pick. Toss between Bradshaw Bourbon and Wiggle City of Champions Bourbon. So I'm actually going to a Steelers game for the first time in Pittsburgh for the Miami Monday Night Football game later this year in December, middle of December. Going to be cold as hell. I'd go Bradshaw Bourbon, though. But I got to go try some bourbon, it looks like, up there. There you go, Mike. Good old Mickey. Good old diet beer. What is it, 90 calories? Not too bad. You can have a lot of those, too. You can have a lot of those. All right, here we go. Florida State's back. Tommy Castellanos is breaking one open. I really like that slide there from him. I really like that slide. He got flagged. Might have been for targeting there on Tommy. He kind of, not going to say the F word, but he kind of fricked up his finger here. That might be his throwing. It's more of his fingernail, it looks like, for Tommy, but he just broke one open for a 17-yard gain. What do we got here? What's this flag? Okay, personal foul on Kent State. Florida State trying to get into the 30s in the first quarter, ladies and gentlemen. Kind of weird slide there. Helmet kind of turned around differently. I'm glad that he slid, though. I'm glad that he slid. I'm kind of over him running. Every FSU fan, it was the same way with Jordan Travis a little bit. Definitely in games like this, like, don't really want to see that as much. You don't want him to get injured, but Tommy's going to be Tommy, and he's a fearless leader. Gavin Sawchuk might score this off the right side. No. But, man, he's down there at the 2-yard line. I know, just like I was just saying there, Chris, don't really want to see Tommy out there, at least not running the ball. Don't really need to see that much anymore, please. You just don't want to have any injuries there to QB1 at all. He is the key to your offense. I know Mekhi Danzy's looking like the star, but Tommy runs the show. What a really physical run here from Gavin Sawchuk, punching it in. I wouldn't say blocking was so pretty there from them, but we saw what Gavin Sawchuk did to Alabama. He's going to do the same thing to Kent State, but that is a great 2-yard touchdown run there from Gavin Sawchuk, who is having a day. Let's pull up the stat sheet. Why don't we? What do we got here? 4 plays, 47 yards on a 1:14 drive. The good PAT here from Jake Weinberg. And if we go over to the running back room, 9 attempts for 88 yards. He's averaging 9.8 yards per carry, ladies and gentlemen. That is your former Oklahoma running back. And dealt with some injuries there at Oklahoma. So I had some question marks, as it seems like, as this fan base does. We go back to Trey Benson whenever he was transferring from Oregon, who had a lot of injuries as well. We all were questioning why Florida State went after Trey Benson. Well, made us look pretty stupid after a couple weeks when we saw Trey Benson, what he was able to do to save that offensive line that was horrid, and make some moves, and was not easy to tackle. But Gavin Sawchuk has been a great addition, it seems like, so far for Florida State's offense. We got Mekhi Danzy, who is averaging 64 yards per carry. But he's got a touchdown as well. The offense looks great. We've got Tommy Castellanos with 54 yards rushing as well to begin this game. On air, he's 5 for 6, 142 yards. And Florida State is leading 35-7. If we go over here to total yards, we got 356 for FSU, Kent State at 87. On air, 142, rushing yards, 214. Florida State has only had one penalty so far, which was at the beginning of the game. We're still in the first quarter, ladies and gentlemen. Actually, no, we're not. Was that the end? Yeah, that was actually the end of the first quarter. All righty. I was about to say, what is Florida State on pace for? Like, holy moly. I think we are on pace for 100 points at least minimum. Where is Kent State? Well, that's why we're going to go to Google here. Ohio. That's right, Ohio. Florida State is undefeated against Ohio teams. I don't know if you guys knew that, but I do have a stat here for you guys that I had for our podcast this week. Yeah, Florida State is 11-0 all-time against programs from Ohio and hold a perfect 7-0 record against Mid-American Conference opponents. But 11-0 against Ohio teams is great. Seriously, is this team physically that much better than last year? Or is it attitude and coaching? Well, I'll be honest with you, Mark. I think it's a mix of everything. I think what stood out to us all couple weeks ago when Florida State faced off against Alabama was the physicality. They played harder. They wanted to be out there more. They brought the juice more. They wanted to hit you harder. And when that happens on a football field, it really does change the momentum. I'm telling you. I mean, I only played at the high school level. It is what it is. But I played for Childs and Tallahassee. Not the greatest pedigree or history there for Childs. Not going to the playoffs, but my senior year, we went to the playoffs for the first time in program history and school history. And we brought a lot of coaches over from Godby, Lincoln, across the board. And the biggest thing that changed for us was playing with physicality. We came to hit you. We wanted to set the tone early. If it were just on kickoff or kickoff return, we were going to hit you the hardest to begin that game and try to do it for 4 quarters. And I think Florida State has shown that they can do that in games so far. It's annoying. It sucks for you whenever the team has that advantage on you, but also too, coaching. I think better coaching. You're seeing that in the wide receiver room after moving on from Ron Dugans. I think these guys are playing really well there, making sure just to simply catch the friggin' ball. And I've been pretty pleased with that wide receiver room. Tim Harris Jr., who came with Gus Malzahn from UCF. Here we go. We are back in action. Second quarter. I did not have enough time, though, to go grab a drink. I need to go grab a drink. 420 is iPad beer. I have not had one of those. I need to look that up. Is that actually a real thing? Or are you messing with me? 420 iPad beer? Oh, okay. Okay. What is it, Sweetwater? Sweetwater? I bet that's pretty hoppy, I would imagine. Yeah, no, we played against Godby in high school. And I mean, phenomenal program there. State championships, everything. But we played them for one of our games and almost upset them. Cedric Wood, I don't know if you guys remember him, committed to Florida State. Big boy, and he played us in our senior year as well. That really good program in Leon County. Beat Lincoln for the first time as well. We had a good senior squad. But here we go. Florida State, Kent State, defensive. Oh, that's a whole... Dude, he just got tackled. Blake Nicholson just got effing horse tackled. Did anybody just see number 20 from Florida State, Blake Nicholson, just get dragged from his horse collar right there? Where's that call at? I got a question here, Chris. We'll get to that Cam Davis question here in just a second once Florida State gets off the field defensively, which should be pretty soon. Able to connect there with Martin again for Kent State. Let's see if Kent State goes for this. I wouldn't be shocked if they do. Seems like Kent State's going to stay out there on the field. Here we go. Can Florida State make a 4th down stop? Let's see if we got a linebacker. It looks like Catrill might be coming in on a blitz. Left side was wide open there for Kent State. They're able to convert. Glad the offensive line does not look like turnstiles. Whew. Herb Hand has done a really good job so far. I think, too, bringing in experience helps you across the board, but physicality, actually moving people. That's what you're supposed to do in the trenches. Move people. Finally. But, yeah, offensive line looking a lot better as a unit so far under Herb Hand, who came with Gus Malzahn. Here we go. Kent State's dropping back, rolling out a little bit, just kind of throwing it up in the air, seeing what happens. There's a flag down, though, in the middle of the field. Interested to see what this gets called on. I will not be getting out on the field, Mike. I did my time. Actually, my senior year tore my ACL, so that ended my if I was going to have a college football career of any way, shape, or form. That ended that. Was that on Quindarius? Now, I mentioned earlier to you guys about Quindarius Jones, did I not? I said the one thing that he's got to improve on is discipline and staying away from these penalties. And that right there, you didn't really need to do too much of. I don't think that wasn't so lethal of a flag. I don't know if that was so deserving, but still, nonetheless, got to do better in that department for Quindarius Jones, and that's something the staff is trying to work with him on with Coach Surtain. Is Usman Kroma injured? No, but I think we'll see. I think we'll see more of him here in the second quarter. I know that we're seeing more of Samuel Singleton before him, and we've gotten a lot of Gavin Sawchuk. I think that should do it for Gavin Sawchuk. We'll see, but we'll see. We'll see what's going on here. I don't believe so. James Williams is out there. He's not out there on the drive right now. It doesn't seem. He was earlier in the game, at least in the first quarter, but I'm not eyeing him at the moment. Edwin Joseph here on some good coverage. I mean, that ball's not even thrown close to who he's trying to throw to. 39 for Florida State. We've got Quindarius Jones here on the bottom. Jabril Rawls at the top. Earl Little Jr. at the safety position. Ashton Barker pushing in off the left side. Good communication across the board. They're taking a shot again to Martin, but that's not even close. That might have been open. I mean, that was open for this kid if the ball was right on the money, but luckily for Quindarius Jones, that ball was not close. Let's see what Kent State wants to do. I think it's time here for a beverage, ladies and gentlemen. I think it's beer. It's beer o'clock. I need a beer. Here we go. Punt, Kent State. Okay, so Jalen Lucas went for a fake there. Also faked out ACC Network's camera crew. What a shocker there. What happened there? Was the ball actually over there, or was that ball heading to the end zone and Jalen Lucas was just fooling around? Let's see. Where did Kent State punt this to? Here we go. I can't tell. Yeah, that's in the end zone, it seems like. Oh, Kent State throwing some punches to Earl Little Jr. Okay, all right. Getting feisty, huh? Down 35-7 early, huh? Interesting. All right, it's beverage time. I know there's a couple questions in the chat. I'll get back to those in just a moment. But I think we go and we look at Mekhi Danzy while I go over to the fridge and grab a drink. I think we go take a little peek at this right here. Let's see. I will be right back. Going to go grab a beverage. But you guys can watch this on loop. Why not, right? All right, we are back. Let's see what we got. Let's see. Mekhi Danzy is the story so far. Beverage in hand, we're going with a Flight from Yingling. Good light beer. Something to sip on. Some little light here. I love these beers. Shout out to my dad for getting me on them. And we got the koozie. Shout out to SI. Check us out. Tons of content at nolegameday.com. Our staff has done a phenomenal job so far. I would give them props to the off-season and in-season. They do a great job in getting you guys prepared for whoever it is, no matter the opponent. Shout out to all of our staff. They're killing it, who are up in the press box right now. Here we go. We got Guy Davis. When I'm doing a pour, you're going to pour a bourbon? Hell yeah. I love it, Guy Davis. Hell yeah. Enjoy it. Look at that. Rashad Green in the house here on the ACC network. Also inducted into the Florida State Athletics Hall of Fame. Shout out to Rashad Green. Reminds me well, he doesn't remind me, but Javon Boggs reminds me a little bit of Rashad Green, just of that consistency with his hands. Tommy's back in the game. Cam Davis just got the ball thrown to him. Wow, okay. Cam Davis. There was a question in here from Chris before I left about Cam Davis. Personally, to me, I think this staff feels a little bit better with Gavin Sawchuk, but now we're going to get a little bit of Cam Davis in here in this game. Micah Pettis going for a little dive there into the ocean after that play. But cheers, everybody. Cheers. Hope everybody's having a great afternoon. What is that Clemson-Syracuse score? Oh, my God. Syracuse 34. Clemson Tigers 14. Oh, my goodness. What is going on with Dabo Swinney? Yep, here's Deuce Robinson getting some work here in the second quarter. But, yeah, Chris, I think Gavin Sawchuk did just because of his experience. They wanted to see some more things from Cam Davis, developmental-wise, getting his vision a little bit better and understanding where he needs to be and which gaps to go. But Cam Davis is here, and it seems like he's going to get a lot of burn, and not only as a rusher, but in the passing game. I haven't even taken a sip of this. Gorgeous. Here's Cam Davis again, becoming a pass-catching threat right now on this drive for Florida State's offense. You're not wrong. Rashad Green was an absolute beast, man. Absolute beast. And we all know what he did in that national championship to get Florida State on that last drive down the field, but still throughout the entirety of his career for Florida State. So underrated. All right, Florida State's here. Oh, Tommy Castellanos just got intercepted. Wow. I don't know what just happened there. I think he had a wide open Deuce Robinson here at the bottom. And Tommy Castellanos gets intercepted. He's done a really good job of taking care of the ball, but that was his first interception, I do believe, of the season. Wow. Okay. All righty. Well, all right, we blame Stan there on that interception from Tommy. Stan said that Tommy's on it. About 5 seconds later, Tommy Castellanos does an interception. Just bad there. The defender bred it well. That height becomes an issue too as well sometimes in that factor. We see that with Baker Mayfield here in Tampa sometimes. A lot of concern here on Usman Kromah. We'll see. Let's check in and what's going on over in Clemson. Why don't we? Because why not? Let's see what we got here. Let's look at what's going on here. What is going on in Death Valley, ladies and gentlemen? The Syracuse Oranges are up 34-14. Clemson's already 1-2 in the season. Looking like this is heading in the direction, unless they have some miracle comeback, could be beginning the season 1-3. Whereas we heard all throughout the offseason this team was going to be a top 5 team, potential national championship team. At least Dabo Swinney felt that way as well, but not looking so pretty. Not looking so pretty for Clemson. And Florida State goes on the road to Clemson. We'll be there for that one. Should be pretty interesting. It's a good grab there from that wide receiver. Where is Squirrel White? Squirrel White is not playing in the game. He did warm up, but he does have a big brace there on his left hand. Starts from his hand down to his wrist. He injured his wrist against East Texas A&M. He is not going to play in this game. Yeah, I think it was a really short throw. I want to say that was to Deuce Robinson. Might be wrong there. Don't judge me. Beverages have just began, but I believe that was to Deuce. It was a short throw. Just tough. Marcus in here saying, I'm from Oklahoma. I can't stand OU, but I loved Baker Mayfield when he planted the flag at Ohio State, but he's now become one of my favorites in NFL. I love Baker Mayfield. He's been great to get to know here in the locker room down in Tampa. Fun player to watch, cover, and a great storyline for him as well. Someone that was highly doubted. And I see a lot of similarities between him and Kevin Sperry. Can't wait for them. Oh, we all are waiting. Maybe we just stay live for the meltdown from Dabo Swinney after this game. What do you guys think? All right, here we go. Florida State's going to get a tackle for loss on the defensive side. We got, looks like James Williams back here. Daryl Jackson eating it up. Juice Cryer coming down quick. What I love is that I get to talk about linebackers coming down and hitting hard and playing with urgency, not letting the plays come to them. I felt like with Adam Fuller, just allowing guys to come to you. No, play aggressively. Go after them. Go after them and hit them. Please. James Williams off this right side. Wide receiver's wide open. That's on Jerry right there. Got to do better. All right, Jerry's got, and I don't know what happened there when Jerry just kind of allowed that out route. I don't know what happened. A little off. Nick, yes, he'll be good. I'm expecting Squirrel White to be a full go for the Virginia game. Just kind of giving him a little bit more time to rest. 2 weeks from that East Texas A&M game should get him back to full 100%. I'm glad that, as we're seeing, you didn't need to put him in this game. We're seeing Mekhi Danzy be an absolute breakout star for Florida State offensively, and his first career start has shown that he is here to play, and that's great. You're just lucky in that department. All right, here we go. Jerry Wilson at the bottom, Jabril Rawls here at the top, and press. No, yeah. James Williams should be there to be able to make that tackle. Look. Are these the Chargers helmets? They've got to be pretty exact to their alternate dark blue helmet combo that they wear. All right, here we go. Yeah, you're right there. NLZFN. Yeah, he was Jerry Wilson on that play that he gave up. Ooh, Juice Cryer is there all day long. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be 4th down. Throw the fist up. We'll see what Kent State wants to do here. Maybe they'll take a shot. They have to. You got to take advantage. You got to take advantage of any opportunity here if you're in Florida State's red zone. Here we go. A lot of communication in the back end, the safety room. Earl Little Jr.'s coming down. Wow. Big stop there from Elijah Herring. Great tackle from the Memphis transfer linebacker, who I am extremely high on. Extremely, extremely high on. I think he is going to be a stellar of a linebacker throughout this season for the Seminoles. He had a lot of production there from Memphis and the Tigers, and he's one that could go east to west, north, south very fast. And as we just saw there, was able to read that QB trying to go and run for a first down. Good stuff. Good stuff. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Great play. Great play. What are we looking like college football scores across the country? What do we have? What do we got? What do we got? Let's take a close look real quick. All righty. We've got Oregon State, Oregon. Okay. Maybe a little bit closer than what we would have thought. Oregon Ducks only up 2 touchdowns. Oregon State is nothing special whatsoever. This is a home game for the Ducks as well. So that's a pretty interesting score. Oklahoma is up 10-3 to Auburn. Michigan up only a touchdown against Nebraska. They're in the second quarter. Purdue trying to hang around here with Notre Dame, but Notre Dame up 21-10. We need more college football scores. Let's see. See what we got here from ESPN. What are y'all's thoughts on Georgia Tech? What do y'all think about them? You think they're truly a top 15 team, or I know they're ranked 18th, but I feel like a lot of people feel like this is a pretty damn good team. I think it just relies on if their quarterback can fully stay healthy throughout a season, because he's a guy that just doesn't really care about himself. He's just going to go out there and try to make a play. And he plays with a lot of physicality, as we saw last year in the beginning of this season. But that was a big upset they gave to the Clemson Tigers. But, that could be a team that we keep an eye out for, of a potential, it depends on what Miami does. It is still Mario Cristobal at the end of the day. Things could just fall apart and unravel for them. But, Georgia Tech starting to creep up in there in that conversation of could they make it to Charlotte. So well coached. Yeah, no, it's a well coached team. It sure is. Haynes King, Brent Key has those guys playing discipline, which is great. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, not saying Virginia is a big lethal threat to you, but it will be better competition than what Florida State has faced the last 2 games. Dow, what they showed you against Alabama is really, really promising, but still want to go see that on the road finally in a hostile environment on a Friday night. Here's Usman Kroma. Here we go. Which should be really interesting to see what Kent State will do with this young man who likes to play with a ton of physicality. He rocks the number 32. Reminds me of James Wilder Jr., someone that is just not going to go down without probably having 3 or 4 guys dragging onto him. But here we go. I know there was some concern. Is he hurt? What's going on? Is he in, a workload? How much is he limited into this game? I haven't heard anything about him being limited going into it, so we'll see what happens. But nice first down run from the true freshman. Yeah, Ooze is going to be a beast. We actually, if you guys haven't yet, we interviewed Earl Little Jr. last week, and he gave a great rundown about Usman Kroma and what he is going to bring to this team, and says he's an absolute freak. So I would definitely go listen to that interview here on our YouTube channel. All right, here is Tommy Castellanos, read option, bang, hand it off to Oos. Oh, Oos gets his feet tripped up there from the Kent State defender. It looks like he could have been gone for an even bigger gain there. But, yeah, this guy likes to fly. That's a big running back, too. That is a big boy. Mike says, I can't pull for either Miami or Florida tonight. It's funny, Cristobal isn't even the coach in college football 26. Yeah, what? He didn't allow for himself to be in it or something weird. Tommy Castellanos, that gets batted down. I just kind of felt ugly from the start. Let's look at that again. Someone missed their block. Is that Landon Tom? Yeah, I mean, Thomas didn't necessarily miss his block there, but that wasn't pretty. Just gets batted down there at the line. Cam Davis is back in the game. Good pickups there from the offensive line. Cam Davis slips on 2nd and 10. Looks like it's going to be a 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2 type of situation here for them. You would like to see where this should be an easy choice of what Gus Malzahn wants to do when you have Cam Davis there in the backfield and what kind of physicality he can bring you, or you might want to go with Usman Kroma. Gus doesn't seem pleased with something there. I don't know. All right, we got Gavin Sawchuk in, who, to be honest with you, has been your most physical back so far this season. Let's see what they end up going with here. Gavin Sawchuk up the middle, another first down for Florida State. Let's look at some stats here. We've got 450 yards of total for Florida State's offense in this game. They're nearing a pace. We'll see if they're able to get. They're not going to likely get another drive. They could, but they're on pace for a 1,000-yard day on offense. Tommy's taking a good throw there. This one's LaWayne McCoy, first sighting of the season after his injury that he suffered in the fall. He also dealt with something in the spring, too. Ooh, Tommy's hopping off. Tommy Castellanos is hopping off the field. All right, and Kevin Sperry's in for the game. All right, that's something we've got to monitor here. Don't know exactly what happened. All right, so that was pretty telling for me. So first off, had him come up from behind. It was weird. They're looking at Tommy here. Kind of a freak play that happened to Tommy. We'll see what ends up happening here. But, yeah, Gus Malzahn for QB2 goes with Kevin Sperry. But still, I mean, that we didn't want it to be that way. We didn't want to see where you wanted to see Tommy just leave the game and be done for the day, but didn't want it to happen to be in a injury to Tommy. Florida State is currently in a weather delay. Okay, so we're going to have a weather delay. Oh, my goodness. It looks sunny as hell there, and it looks beautiful. All right, we got our eyes up in the sky there at the press box. We'll see what happens with Tommy, obviously. I'm trying to keep – all right, he is limping on his own. I don't know if that's his – seems like it's maybe his right ankle. He's talking with Mike. He's talking with Mike right now. Tommy looks a little concerned, though, leaving the field. Not a whole ton of smiling or anything. Interesting. Something to keep a close eye on here for Florida State. But here we are. We're not even at halftime yet, but Tommy's walking up the ramp. Still a pretty significant limp. Obviously, you don't want to see any part of that. That will do it for him for the rest of the game, 100%. I think that was going to be his last drive anyways, but just a freak accident there from behind, from an offensive lineman, defenders, just falling on the back of him. And we've got a friggin' weather delay. Awful, awful, awful. Let's look at the weather. I didn't think we'd look at a weather radar, but here we are. We're going to look at a weather radar, everybody. Let's see what we've got. Oops. Yeah, we've got a couple cells, top left, top right. I can't believe we're in weather watch right now. Oh, my goodness gracious. 35-7 for Florida State in this game. Of course, the biggest thing right now is monitoring and wondering the health of Tommy Castellanos, who is having a phenomenal day all across the board. 10 of 13, 205 yards. On the rushing side of things, had 54 yards on 7 attempts, averaging 7.7 yards per carry, 462 yards of offense, and almost a full 2 quarters. Man, oh man. I was going to say the weather I thought was supposedly going to be beautiful, full of sun, no clouds or anything, but at the end of the day, it is a summer day in Tallahassee, and you usually do have those 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock pop-up showers. Yeah, I think what we'll do here is maybe switch over to Clemson. I'm interested to see if we'll get an ETA on when that weather delay is going to end. I believe you have to wait, 25, 30 minutes? But we'll flip over. Clemson just dropped a touchdown catch there. Syracuse still up 34-14. But yeah, Clemson's offense is just there's nothing there. It's awful. They have no attack there. And when you think of Clemson, you think of wide receivers immediately with the production that they've been able to have. But yeah, Clemson can't come away with that one. FSU definitely doesn't look as tight as the last 2 games. Yeah, and that's something, you definitely wanted to monitor. I was monitoring going into East Texas A&M. How are they going to play with the same tenacity against Alabama? That physicality, was that going to translate after a bye week, though, into a very small opponent? And not saying that, they're up 35-7. Yes, they had a busted play in the secondary on the defensive side. Some slip-ups there in the offensive line. And, Tommy's had some batted down balls, had the interception, yada, yada, yada. But the offense has looked good, and they put up a ton of points so far. Some punt return needs to be improved there. I think in the trenches, there could be a little bit more of some physicality, up it up a notch a little bit. But that's sort of tough to do. You're now on your third opponent, second game in a row where you're not facing, the caliber of an Alabama. It's going to be a pretty big jump whenever you go next week on Friday night at Virginia. That place is going to be rowdy. It's going to be a sold out stadium. You're a top 7, top 5, whatever the AP poll put them at. You're one of the top teams in the country. It is going to be sold out. It's going to be very loud. And it's going to be interesting to see what this team looks like. College football enjoyer, Logan, how cooked are we? Well, we're going to evaluate and see what we're hearing on Tommy Castellanos. We'll see what we're hearing. I need to pull up one thing right now. We'll be keeping a close eye, and if we hear anything, we'll share here. But that's the number one concern right now for Florida State. But like you said, David, I mean, what are we thinking? How does it affect Florida State? I mean, you immediately, then we knew he wasn't going to play after this drive. There's no reason for him to, and it was going to be prepared for whatever, going into the Virginia game. Pretty interesting, though, that Kevin Sperry's now QB2. I think that's practically solidifying itself, to be honest with you, over Brock Glenn. Yes, I know he's been dealing with some injuries, but he's had a bye week to fully recover. And Mike Norvell mentioned in his press conference that he did look better. He's looking, back to 100%. But I just think Gus Malzahn leans more to the true freshman and Kevin Sperry, which says a lot. But yeah, a lot of this is going to rely on what Tommy Castellanos looks like moving forward. He was able to, looks like, he limped off the field on his own. Got looked at trainers. He was able to bend his knee on the bench, and seems like that's fine. If it were to be, it's hard to tell sometimes. Like, I'm not saying this is the injury there for Tommy, but it's tricky when it comes down to knees sometimes, because some people, they can have a big damage to their knees and they can walk off and, still be limping. They don't need to be helped off and all that kind of stuff, or take the cart back and you can walk on it. But it's rare for that to happen. Usually I would lean maybe towards this, maybe being something with the ankle potentially. It's kind of hard to see on the replay of that. I might actually go back and look at that play for Tommy and see if we can diagnose what exactly happened for him. But I think if we're going to lean on optimistic, I always stay optimistic for the most part. The fact that he was able to walk up the ramp there into the locker room, I think is big. But we shall see. I need to make sure. Okay. Cody Malk. Yeah, Cody Malk here with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers got injured, your offensive lineman at the guard position, and he played. So Cody Malk actually played throughout the rest of the game and was injured, but, ended up having a torn ACL. Not saying that's what Thomas Castellanos has. Absolutely not. But it's weird with knees, man. You just never know. Hoping it's hoping it's ankle related 100%. Absolutely. That would be the best news for FSU. All right, guys, let me go back. I'm going to go back. I can't pull it on the screen for you guys because then we will get in trouble with the ACC, but I am going to pull back here on my iPad and we're going to slow-mo through what this injury was live for Tommy Castellanos and just try to get a read. I don't think overall, you're up 35-7. I don't think they're playing down to this team at all. Now there's some miscommunications happening on the defense a little bit in the secondary, and had a bad flag there from Quindarius Jones and had that wide open wide receiver from Kent State. There's some things you got to fix. You got to understand too, this is a third game of this defense getting down the new scheme from Tony White. But there could be some guys. Exactly. This is what you want, Mac, is hopefully it is a rolled ankle. That is exactly what you want. No shocker here, but I'm waiting on like a 90-second ad from the ACC network to just be able to rewind this and see what happened to Tommy Castellanos. So shout out to the ACC network. Oh, God, I can't stand them. I am going to have to get out a post here on Tommy Castellanos. All right. So skipping through that, I cannot go back. Okay, so here's an update from Florida State. The halftime will begin now, and then when the delay and / halftime is over, the second quarter with 2 minutes and 20 seconds left will begin, and then we will jump into the third and fourth quarter. I don't think I've ever heard of something like that before. I have not been involved in something like that. But here we are. Florida State's going to have practically its halftime. I like that. Sign me up. We don't have to do 2.5 minutes of football, and then you jump into a halftime, and then we have to do this all over again. I actually like this move. All right, Cade Klubnik. Is that Cade Klub? Okay, that's not Cade Klubnik. It is Will Helt. Will Helt, a junior from Clemson, defensive end, is down on the field. He's had 2 sacks already this season, 6 tackles, so he's down for Clemson. Something to monitor there for them. Yeah, we won't see Tommy Castellanos in this game. I do not believe he should not be. Should not be. All right, guys, I've got to get a post out here for our Facebook followers on Thomas Castellanos. Maybe we can, why not? Why don't we just share this on here? That's where we do all our graphics and stuff. We'll throw in. There we go. Live graphics. Why not? I think Clemson's in trouble, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. I think Clemson is in some big, big trouble. We'll pull this up. Bang. Edit that. Yeah, Syracuse is up 34-21. Okay, they've been Clemson's able to creep back in here, but still more than a touchdown of a edge here from the Oranges. All right, Syracuse first down. All righty. Yeah, 8:20 left for Syracuse. Still a lot of time left in this game, but yeah, no, that would be the most ideal there for Joseph on Thomas Castellanos. Let's see. All righty, let's see what we got here. Seven and a half minutes here for Syracuse. Sorry, having to get our Facebook post out here on Thomas Castellanos. So just give me a minute here on this. We've got Syracuse 2nd and 9. Gets sacked in the backfield from Clemson. Against during the weather delay on his own power. It is going to be very telling whenever he does come out. I would imagine they're going to get, with this time that they have, give some time to evaluate and see what's going on there and where he got hit, where he might have pulled something. We'll see. Boom. There we go. All right, we are back. We are back. Never in my life again. But I am working on some updates here. We'll see if we hear anything for you guys, and we'll update you on here on the show. But we are currently watching Syracuse versus Clemson. We just got an update from Florida State that the halftime has officially really begun. And then when we get back into play, it will be 2 minutes and 20 seconds left in the second quarter. And then we'll immediately jump into the third quarter. So we got a little bit of waiting to do on that end. I believe we've got, I don't know how long Florida State is going to take on this, but when would that be? All right, weather delay rules. Under the weather delay regulations, teams must wait 30 continuous minutes after the last lightning strike within an 8 to 10 mile radius before returning to play. If a lightning strike occurs during any 30-minute period, the clock starts again. Jesus. So the longest weather delay in college football history was 8 hours and 35 minutes between Virginia Tech and Purdue. Wow. Okay. Well, there's your fun fact of the day. So we hope that we're not headed towards that. Praying to the old gods and new, please be with us. We do not want to wait that long. Yeah, I saw that too. I was monitoring how Tommy was talking there. It didn't seem like there was some panic or didn't want to show that at least to his teammates and such. So got to, stay as optimistic as possible. Rain delays everywhere, it seems like, all across the board. This one just seems to be a lightning strike that was from far away. Because I'm pretty sure it was. Let's see. All right. 5 minutes and 50 seconds left here for Clemson, Syracuse. Clemson back with the ball. Cade Klubnik and the Tigers trying to get something going. They're nearing the 50-yard line. This is the game that we currently have on as we're waiting. And Florida State's delay. Cade Klubnik rolling out, has to throw it away. There's not a lot of fans in the stands right now in Death Valley. I don't know if you guys can see that, but pretty ugly. Pretty ugly. How did the lightning strike not absolutely obliterate everybody in the stands? Tell me about it. Well, I wasn't there during that time, Mark. But 8 to 10 mile radius, though, is actually crazy to me. Like, I can understand maybe, all right, let's go like 2 to 4 mile radius. I feel like you're pretty fine in that. But 8 to 10, man, that's heading to all different kinds of counties. Oh, there's just nothing there from Cade Klubnik and his wide receivers at all. Yeah, that's what we're watching right now. Ugh. Death Valley does not look so pretty in the stands there. Not too happy with Dabo. All right, let's see. Cade Klubnik, I shouldn't say, I'm not feeling bad for him. Anyways, Clemson's on a 4th and 10 here, ladies and gentlemen. 5 minutes and 18 seconds left. They're going to likely go for this, obviously. Here we go. I mean, it's ugly. I mean, we're talking about like the ugly caliber of Florida State 2024 offensively ugly. It's ugly. Not looking too pretty there. Let's see what they end up doing here on 4th and 10. Here we go. Drop back from Klubnik. It's intercepted. Awful throw from Klubnik. Wow. Not pretty. Not pretty at all. Clemson is in some trouble. Yikes. Yikes, yikes, yikes. Did not see that coming to begin the season. Dude, it is astonishing with Clemson's offense that it's this bad. I mean, it's awful, too, with like the offensive line that they have, the weapons, the talent. Was it Garrett Riley? Yeah, Garrett Riley might not be lasting throughout the season for Florida State's offensive coordinator. I do not believe. Yikes. You just hate to see it, don't you? Just hate to see Dabo. Oh, look at the stand. Oh, no. People are leaving there in Death Valley. Uh-oh. That stinks. Head over to the lake. Enjoy the mountains. That stinks. I don't think anybody in the FSU fan base feels too bad about this for Dabo and Clemson. I saw that too, Antoine. Dabo said he's going to coach with or without Clemson. Interesting. He is a funny guy. Sorry, guys. Got to tweet out. We just put out an article on Tommy's injury. All right, let's see what we got here. Castellanos. They come back onto the field. All righty, here we go. Syracuse punting again, 4th and 7. Yeah, they got to punt this. 3.5 minutes left practically in the game. Death Valley looks like no one's there, really. That's pretty brutal. Let's see. All right, how about Mekhi Danzy, man? I mean, let's go to at least some optimistic stuff here. I thought so far throughout the entire season, I feel like he's been your breakout star, but this has become apparent that he is a starting caliber weapon in this offense, and Gus Malzahn with the limited amount of time, really just the fall camp because he was in spring with track. He's had a limited amount of time with Mekhi Danzy, but the way that they've been able to utilize him in the accurate way, and then to him connecting with Tommy Castellanos, and then in your reverses with him and using his speed, it's just clicked. It's clicked very well for Mekhi Danzy. So what a start for him with the Seminoles. What an incredible start. Boom. Let's see what we got. What is this? 3rd and 10 for Clemson. Dude, I'm in shock about how awful this offense is for them. I mean, it is god awful. And if we're going ahead and looking at that matchup in November when Florida State goes on the road, like, is Clemson going to be able to keep up with Florida State's offense and how much points they're putting up currently? Right now, absolutely not. It's dreadful for them. Here we go. 3rd and 10. Cade Klubnik rush. Good pressure from Syracuse. He's able to get that throw out, but got smashed there in the backfield. Only 3 minutes left, though. I mean, still down. Was that? Yeah. 34-21. You don't have a ton of time left. You still have to get a touchdown. And then you're in deep trouble. They got to start taking some shots here, but it's a lot of intermediate throws right now. Danzy is the mansy. Any update on Thomas Castellanos? We do not have one yet, but we're waiting on some things there on Tommy. So if I hear anything, we'll bring it up here for you guys and let you know. Is it just me, or did Tommy C get one of those college football 26 kind of interceptions? Yeah, that was a thing. Height. It's the same thing for smaller quarterbacks. You see that happening to Kyler Murray, or definitely to Baker Mayfield. A lot of tip balls at the line, but he was going for a short pass there to find his wide receiver, who I think it was Deuce. I don't know. But that just sometimes happens, man. And luckily, Tommy was able to make that tackle, or that would have been a pick six. Danzy, game changer. Need 2 guys to keep up with him. Opens up Deuce and Squirrel. Can't pack the box to stop the run. You're not wrong there, Mark. This should be able to open up a lot of variety that Gus Malzahn can utilize offensively whenever you throw out Mekhi Danzy with that speed and strength of hands that he showed you today so far. You know what he can do in the rushing attack, but the wide receiver position, what a great move. Because originally, guys, if you remember, Mekhi Danzy was a running back. That's what Florida State recruited him as, but they started noticing that, hey, we've got a lot of talent already in the running back room. Let's try put him out of the wide receiver room. And then 2, also Gus Malzahn liked him better there. And it seems like he's been building a key piece with him, as we're seeing offensively. Yeah, I don't know, Tim, what they're doing. I have no clue. It's shot. It's absolutely shot. But if you guys are hanging out down below, smack that like button if you're here on YouTube. Appreciate y'all hanging out with us this afternoon. We're trying to do a lot of these watch parties all throughout the season. Some of these games, though, we'll be in person for it. But for this one and Virginia, we'll be going live next Friday night as well for you guys. And a little watch party type deal like this. We enjoyed the East Texas A&M one and enjoying this one today. I know we're concerned about the news on, or seeing what we're going to see on Tommy Castellanos, and hopefully we'll get an update here. But appreciate y'all hanging out. And if you're here on YouTube, smacking the like button just helps our videos get out there to more people. And 2, if you're new here, we do a show at least 2 to 3 times a week, depending on breaking news. We do a depth chart one every week as well. We go live on Mondays at lunchtime around 12:30. And then we go live on Wednesday nights to preview the upcoming opponent as well and do instant reactions right after games, usually on site. But for these smaller games, smaller opponents, we won't be having that. But appreciate everybody that if you're considering subscribing or new, welcome in. I appreciate y'all hanging out with us this afternoon for Florida State whipping some ass, already up 35-7 to Kent State. Mekhi Danzy making some big time plays. Gavin Sawchuk doing what he needs to do, and the rushing attack and the defense for the most part. I know there's been some slip ups here and there, but there's definitely been some good on that defensive side of the ball as well. And we're currently in a good old lightning delay. I knew that would come eventually. Right there with you, Corey. It's always good seeing what Dabo. I mean, I'm mainly here to see what Dabo says in the postgame presser. That's why I'm here. I want to see him melt down. And I will say a rain delay too as well means that you need more of these. So we will be grabbing more here in just a minute. Nice. Enjoy it, man. Absolutely. Pittsburgh. Enjoy that game. What is y'all here? What is y'all's score predictions for Florida, Miami tonight? I think Florida will make this interesting. I really do. I don't know. For some reason, Billy Napier sometimes is able to get his team going whenever it seems like they've given up on him, but out of nowhere in games like this, they show up and they perform and they play hard for him. I think they make it pretty interesting, but interested to see what y'all's score predictions are. I know a lot of people want to see Miami. All right, first off, nobody wants to see, if there could be a chance for both teams lost today, that would be phenomenal. But there's still going to be a winner at the end of this. Who do you want to win? If you had to pick one ugly team as they are, both of them, and what's your score prediction? Is Florida actually going to make themselves fight in it? Thank you, Pam. I appreciate it a ton. Thank you so much for following, sticking with it. We're just hoping Tommy's all right. That's all we're hoping here. That's all we're waiting on. But thank you a ton for tuning in. We've seen some great growth on our YouTube channel in the last 6 to 8 months. I've been putting in a ton of work, and it's been great to receive the love and engagement from you guys and really get to know a lot of you guys. It's been awesome. So appreciate it. Got a long season ahead, though. A long season ahead. Derek's got Florida in an upset, 31-30. Man, wouldn't that just be... I know fans want to see Florida State, Miami, College game day come in town. It's going to be a primetime matchup anyways. I couldn't see where Florida State, Miami isn't an 8 p.m. slot. We've seen both teams be very bad, and ESPN still and ABC still, they garner the primetime slot. So the ratings are always going to be there. But could you imagine where Florida gets the upset there in Gainesville? I mean, this is just, to me, it's a Mario Cristobal. Real quick, Clemson's offense is dog ass. It's bad. Now, we're talking bad. I mean, they are awful. We got wide receivers. I don't know if he just threw his helmet. It is not pretty, y'all. Wow. Yikes. We should be soon. We'll see. I don't have a counter on that weather delay, but I think we're getting close here for guys going out and getting warm-ups in. Okay, Stan's got Miami. All right, then Miami is showing up, and they played hard so far at the beginning of the season. You can't take away them on that. I mean, you would love to see both teams undefeated facing one another. All right, we're looking like 5 minutes away from the game resuming. That's what I just got word on. Looking like we're about to resume at 5:35 p.m. 5:35 p.m. for the restart. We will be keeping a very, very, very close eye on Tommy Castellanos, and when he comes out, I would hope that it's a boot that he has. Don't really want to see a brace on any of the knees. You just got to hope that's a rolled up ankle there, and we're not going to see him out there on the field again. It's going to be really intriguing to see Kevin Sperry, though, in his second collegiate game. I thought that he looked pretty impressive in the way that he was moving the offense down the field. So going to see what happens there. But yeah, I will be right back. I'm going to use the restroom, and then when I return with a new beer as well, we will get started too with Florida State's, I shouldn't say second half, but it is going to be the second half, but the rest of the second quarter with, I believe, 2 minutes and 39 seconds remaining. And Clemson is going to lose their third game of the season, by the way. Just want to throw that out there. All right, we are back. Whew. Minute 20 left in this Clemson game. It is over for them. That's tough, Dabo. That's tough. That's tough for you, buddy. Tommy Castellanos did not run out with the team out onto the field, as the team has just returned back to the sidelines. Tommy Castellanos did not run out with the team. So we will see what's going on here for Tommy. Now, they could be doing some evaluations and everything. It's not that he needs to be out there on the sideline immediately. But we'll see what the ACC network says. Okay, they're just giving a lightning delay update, not about Florida State starting quarterback. Okay, that's the usual there. Okay. What's up? What's up, Regis? How we doing, man? How about Danzy? I thought, what an incredible start for him, man. What an incredible start. Him and Gus Malzahn, they have something cooking. A breakout star showing right in front of you for Florida State offensively. But yeah, what a way to utilize speed, man. And Gus Malzahn's doing a fantastic job with that. What's up, Nuna? I haven't gotten a haircut in a while, but usually I'm wearing the hat, but I was like, I got to go without the hat today. I wear it too much. Shaheem Brown's out there, maybe, on what you were just saying there. Noel Hearted. Shaheem Brown was out there in warmups, who also wears number 1, but from what I was just told, Tommy Castellanos did not run out there with the team. So we'll keep you guys fully updated on that front. We've got all of our guys in the press box with the binoculars, so they're going to be keeping a close eye on that tunnel. So if Tommy Castellanos does come out, we will be first on that to give you the intel. Yeah, Boggs look nice too. I was wondering when we were going before the game began if they were going to try to utilize him a bit more. So All right, here we go. Back up on the field. We have Kevin Sperry out on the field, who I thought looked solid against East Texas A&M. Former Oklahoma quarterback commit, then flipped over to the Florida State Seminoles, and you can tell Gus Malzahn, he feels very highly on this young man. So here we go. Florida State is on the 15-yard line, a handoff immediately to Keziah Holmes, or Samuel Singleton, I should say, for a touchdown. Easy money. Florida State is up 42, barring an extra point there from Jake Weinberg, but a 15-yard run there from Samuel Singleton off the left side. Great blocking, 9 plays, 73-yard drive, and 4 minutes and 11-second drive, although we had a good 30-minute lightning delay. But Florida State continuing to just punish people on the offensive side of the ball. Yeah, Derek, they're going to be running this from the last 2.5. What do we have? Like 2 minutes and 16 seconds right into a little break, which will be a halftime, but I would imagine that's just a TV commercial timeout, and then we'll jump into the third quarter, which I think is great. And I haven't seen that before either. Let's see real quick. See if there's any more updates on this front. Let's go look at the stat sheet real quick. Oops. Let me bring this up for you guys. Russian attack has been fantastic today. 272 yards on the ground, 6 touchdowns scored on the ground. All right, let's get back to it here. We're going to have a 2-minute warning too as well. Let's see what we got. We're still on a pace here for Florida State to score 80, at least 80, but we'll see what ends up happening. This is going to be led on Kevin Sperry. It was just an easy handoff there for him and let his running back do the work with good blocking. So that was an easy 7 points, but really interested to see a full drive from Kevin Sperry again. Ooh, some missed tackles there between Jason Jenkins and Daryl Jackson. They almost got home. Yes, Kevin Sperry is a true freshman. Previously committed to Brent Venables and the Oklahoma Sooners, and then very late, Florida State was able to make that flip there with him. Heard a lot of good things about him arriving in the spring, going into fall camp as well. Really good with his legs on rollouts, and has shown up and really hasn't looked like a rookie coming in. So interested to see some more of Sperry this afternoon. All right. Kent State is back out onto the field. Got a 2nd and 4 from the defense. Florida State can't make that stop there. Omar Graham Jr. with the tackle. Let's see. Good tackle there from James Williams. It was a good tackle from him. Really interested to see who's going to be coming in more from the 3 deep as well. We saw some guys early in that East Texas A&M game get in there. All right, we've got a timeout. Okay, that was from Florida State, actually. They're getting a timeout here. It looks like they want to get back out. They want to get their offense back out on the field before this halftime begins. Stephon Thompson there in that number 7 jersey for FSU. There's Castellanos running out onto the field. Thomas Castellanos just ran out onto the field. That was great to see. Full run as well. That is huge. That is massive. Whew. Sigh of relief there for Florida State fans and everyone involved. I think the entire sideline as well. I mean, that would have been detrimental. That would have been absolutely detrimental, and FSU fans would have been, once again, like, why us? Why would this happen? We saw what the catastrophe happened with Jordan Travis. And now seeing Tommy run out there, the ACC network was able to capture him running out there onto the field. Huge, huge news for the Seminoles. So that makes you feel a lot better. Makes me feel a lot better. And we won't see any more of number 1 out there on the field except for Shaheem Brown on the defensive side of the ball wearing number 1. Good news. Stephon Thompson got a little dinged up there. So Stephon Thompson came with Tony White from Nebraska. And Tony White is coached linebackers. He played linebacker as well over at UCLA, which is another conversation because UCLA. Ooh, is that Quindarius Pick right there? No, that's Jerry Wilson. That's Jerry Wilson, the Houston transfer defensive back with an incredible interception there with 35 seconds left. Boom. There we go. Huge. Huge, huge, huge. All right, good stuff there. Tommy Castellanos is healthy. Jerry Wilson, great play on the ball, physical interception from him. Kevin Sperry's dropping back with a throw. Chase Lofton's injured there. Did he pull his hammy? Oh, no. Was it a hammy? That's tough. Wow, what a throw there. And that's Elijah Moore, number 81. Young wide receiver that Florida State feels highly on. They want to see more consistency from him. But that was a great grab and a really nice ball to the sideline from Kevin Sperry, the true freshman QB. Kevin Sperry's going to try to run there, but he's going to get tossed. Mike Norvell's going to call a timeout there after that. Do. Let's see. We're going to keep a close eye on Chase Lofton here. Let's see. All right, Kevin Sperry here in the backfield. Looks like that's Jalen Lucas there with the ball. Yeah, it sure is. He's so small. He's so hard to find sometimes. He might have not been down there. Was Jalen Lucas down? Let's see. I don't know. Was he down? Yeah. I mean, he wasn't down, but he stepped outside, out of bounds, but he didn't go down. We're not going to review this, though. Oh, game clock. All right. Camden Fryer should be healthy. I know we're seeing some comments on that, but Amari Williams, here we go. 3 seconds left. We might go Jake Weinberg here. I think we're going to go Weinberg. Yeah, we're going to give Weinberg a shot here at the field goal to get this to 45-7 for Florida State. Good dish there to Amari just in time before the defender could turn around. And a nice drive from Kevin Sperry on this. Kevin Sperry so far 2 of 3, 34 yards, completion rating of 67%. We've got a Kent State player down on the field. 524 total yards for Florida State on the offensive side. Seems like this might be a potential serious injury here for this Kent State player. Hopefully everything's all right. Let's see. Let's see what we got. I don't know. Seems maybe I can't really tell. We're not going into a TV timeout, so we're able to see, but yeah, I don't know if this maybe was a collarbone or near a neck injury for him, but everybody's down on a knee that's on the field. But could be a neck injury is what I'm getting right now. Sound is working, right? I know that we have I think you're trolling me, Karen. I think you're trolling me, but I do think we have sound, right? You guys can hear me. At least it's showing here that my audio is coming through. So, okay. Thank you. Thank you, Chris. Did he get hit from behind? Kind of twisted around a little bit there. Yeah, they're taking a close eye on him. Let's see. Karen, you got to turn the audio up. Turn the audio up, Karen. Let's see. Still waiting here. I'm surprised ACC Network here hasn't gone to commercial, but I know they're trying to get this game going after the lightning strike delay. Waiting. This could be a possible neck injury, though. This is why all of these trainers are spending some time with him. I don't see a cart coming out yet, but here comes the cart now. The EMS group is coming, Leon County EMS. Yeah, the cart's coming out for him, and that's just brutal. You hope it's nothing serious for the young man. I'm trying to get who that is for Kent State. Chase Lofton, an update on Chase Lofton, your true freshman tight end that has been converted over to wide receiver. He is being helped to the locker room with the assistance of 2 trainers. So got to hope it's not serious there, but when you're being helped with 2 trainers, it doesn't look so great. So we'll see what happens there with Chase Lofton, a player that the staff absolutely adores. And they did a really good job not allowing him and his recruitment to go anywhere else because there was a lot of schools across the country after him. But with that addition of Randy Pittman, Marquise Douglas coming back, it allowed for Chase Lofton to look elsewhere to see more playing time. They wanted to get him out there on the field more, and they moved him over to wide receiver. But he suffered an apparent injury as well and has had to be helped to the locker room with 2 trainers. It looks like we're now I'm trying to find the name here for the Kent State player that is injured down on the field. But it is a defensive back. All right. Looks like Kent State's team is going to talk with their coach for right now. Still waiting. The helmet is off. All right, we're waiting here. The pads and the helmet is fully off, and we've got the coaching staff. They're being really gentle here with the player. EMS is on hand. Yeah, this has been it went from, FSU having that quick start, Kent State having that touchdown and such, but since then, it's been a dominating game from the Seminole side of things. Then you got the scary injury there from Tommy Castellanos. He comes back running onto the field, and then 2 plays later, Chase Lofton gets injured. One of your, future stars at tight end, now at wide receiver. And then you see this Kent State player seems to be suffered a neck injury. Don't know fully yet, but it seems like people that I have on the ground there, seems like a neck injury for the Kent State player. Scary stuff. And we've still got 3 seconds left in the half. Jake Weinberg should be taking this field goal to head us into, in quote, a halftime, but the halftime is actually just going to be a commercial break, and then we'll jump right into the third quarter. But, this is already, what are we at? 6 o'clock. This game began at 3:30, and we're just going to begin the second half here in, 10 minutes or so. This is tough. Yeah, I think it's a neck injury here, just the way that he fell. Yeah, this is Amari Williams is coming over. This is the defensive back that he was facing off against there in that tackle. And great sportsmanship there from Amari Williams, being the only FSU player to get in there, and wish him the best. I think he just raised his hand, though. He just raised his hand, which is a good sign there, moving some extremities. We'll see. We'll get a closer look as he's heading into the end zone, going to go straight to the ambulance. Yeah, he's blinking and moving. Scary incident, man. Scary. Very scary. We'll see what ends up happening here. Moving forward, I think everybody will be fine with just going and calling it a day here. Come on. Kevin Sperry. Jake Weinberg is out for the field goal. This should be 25-yarder, I do believe, right there on the 15-yard line. And Jake Weinberg has looked impressive so far to begin his collegiate career. Really, actually, he had some playing time last year behind Ryan Fitzgerald getting into a game. But he's had a nice start for the Seminoles as we head into the halftime. Florida State leading 45-7. We're going to see a lot of Kevin Sperry moving forward. We'll see some Brock Glenn as well. But what has stood out to me right now, here's number 1, Tommy Castellanos is healthy. He ran out onto the field, not hindering anything, which is a great sign there, and immediately talked to the coaching staff. And then moving forward to as well, Chase Lofton is injured. We'll try to get an answer from Mike Norvell after the game in the postgame presser. And Kevin Sperry, QB2 over Brock Glenn for a second game in a row. I think that's pretty telling on who Gus Malzahn leans toward. And, seems like that is his QB2. Sorry, getting out a Facebook post here on Tommy. Getting that update out there for everyone. Let's see. FSU fans with Tommy Castellanos running back onto the field. Whew. That was scary. That was scary for Tommy. That was very scary. Yes, absolutely. Thoughts and prayers there to Kent State and the player that was injured. Hopefully everything will be fine with him, but good to see that he was able to move his arm, which is good. Yep, so far so good. What Jake Weinberg has been looking good. Yeah, we do need to see some more camera action on Tommy Castellanos. I know, it's been a wild ride, roller coaster ride for Brock Glenn. You know, that was the backup there to DJU last year, but even prior to that, he had to step in an ACC championship game. Even in the Florida game, he had to jump in because of Tate Rodemaker was QB2 after Jordan Travis's injury. And you thought, okay, everything's looking good for Tate Rodemaker. You felt pretty positive because that offense was, you know, you had weapons all around you, and Tate Rodemaker had made some developmental steps forward in that direction. So you felt well, but then he gets injured in a concussion. Then you have to roll out Brock Glenn as a true freshman in Charlotte on the road against Louisville, and is able to hold on. Shout out to Lawrence Toafili. That defense, Braden Fisk, Jared Verse. I mean, we all know how well that damn defense performed in 2023. And you so badly wanted to see that in the college football playoff. But ESPN are pieces of you know what, and kind of did not help in any way, shape, or form. You know, advocating for an Alabama team with Nick Saban's last year to get in there and take that spot. Anyways, I'm ranting, but yeah, what a roller coaster ride for Brock Glenn, to say the least. Sorry, just getting this last post out there for everybody. Making sure we update our Facebook crowd. Boom. And there we go. There we go. And we're back. We're back out on the field. Third quarter begins now. What a long game this is. I don't know what it is. I don't know if I'm just the only person, but I feel like FSU's games always take forever. Ever. I mean, it's ridiculous sometimes, but we've had a lot going on here. And let's take a look at this defense and who Tony White has out there. We got Stephon Thompson out there at the linebacker position. Jabril Rawls is still out there as well. Jerry Wilson, too. Florida State's going to allow a first down here. Edwin Joseph with the tackle. Your starting unit practically out there. I don't know if we'll see some more of Daryl Jackson or Daniel Lyons, as those guys, I don't believe, were on that first snap there for on the defense to begin the second half. But I would imagine we'll see a lot of DeMonte Diggs. Let's see. Yeah, we got KJ Sampson there and the inside. We got a Mandrell Desir off the left edge. Okay, so the Kent State player, the ACC network just said that he has been able to move his extremities and speak. Everything's fully fine. They are taking him to the hospital for further evaluation to be precautionary. That, I don't know who was throwing, like where that was even going for Kent State. That wasn't going anywhere for them. The Shields just kind of tossed that into the ground. There's no one there for that play at all for Kent State. Yes, so they did use the halftime as a delay of game, the lightning delay. So I like that. No, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. That defense was special, man, and we're seeing it at the NFL level for Braden Fisk and Jared Verse. Isn't it awesome though that the Rams drafted both of them, who were absolute menaces in that ACC championship game, Florida game. Would have loved to see them in the college football playoffs because they would have likely have played Washington. And to me, I'd lean on Florida State's defense stopping them. All right, Florida State's defense able to get off the field. Kent State going to go for a punt here. Let's see how this punt team goes. All right. Yeah, Jalen Lucas was still back there. Allowed for Kent State to stop the ball. Florida State's going to begin this drive on their own 25-yard line. All right, what games do we need to be keeping a close eye on here? What do we got? Let's see. All right, Oregon put that one away real quick. I believe we were checking that before the lightning delay, and Oregon's up 41-7. That one's actually over, though. 41-7 for them. Oklahoma-Auburn is tied 10-10. Oklahoma, I think, is on. Oklahoma is on Auburn 17, so Oklahoma's about to score here. Nebraska's up 27-17 against Nebraska. All right, Kevin Sperry, Florida State's offense back out onto the field. Samuel Singleton with the rush. Now it looks like we've got Usman Kroma. Very easy to distinguish who's out there in the backfield when it's Usman. He's just such a bigger sized guy. We got a screen over here to LaWayne McCoy. Here we go. Ooh, LaWayne McCoy with a couple stiff arms. Ooh. And this offense is moving fast. That was a 21-yard gain for LaWayne, who seems like he's fully healthy, ladies and gentlemen, which is great news there. Here we go. We keep moving here. Let's see what we got. Kevin Sperry to Usman Kroma off to the left side. Usman says, "Get off. Get off me." About a 9-yard gain on the air there for him. Reminds me of that highlight play we saw during the fall camp up there in Jacksonville, and Usman said, "Get off me," and threw a defender. That just happened. We got Elijah Moore here at the bottom of your screen. LaWayne McCoy up top. Usman Kroma is going to take this ball and continue to he's just a guy, reminds me of Trey Benson. Yards after contact. It's like he's going to blow up the PFF grades. He's special, very special. All right, Cam Davis is in the backfield here. Landon Thomas. Elijah Moore at the bottom. Jalen Lucas is joining in the backfield as well. Good blocking there. Great blocking. Good blocking from Cam Davis. Jalen Lucas trying to make a move here. Can't do it, but I thought that was some really good blocking there from your offensive line and your playmakers, including Cam Davis. Great block there from Landon Thomas, too. Something that the staff has wanted to see him improve on is in the blocking department. Let's see what we got. Elijah Moore in the slot. LaWayne McCoy up top. Cam Davis is rushing. He gets to the 1-yard line. We've got some moves here at the offensive line position, though. We got Chavez Thompson at the center position. We've got Lucas Simmons at left tackle, and Jonathan Daniels at the right tackle position. That was the second thing. Outside of seeing who was going to be QB2, I want to see how these tackles perform. So let's see. Cam Davis, that's a touchdown there from Cam Davis. That's 6 on the board from him. Florida State up 51-7 with 10:04 remaining in the third quarter. Likely going to be 52-7 with Jake Weinberg coming out for the extra point, but 2 physical runs there from Cam Davis. Let's see here what we got. Cam Davis, 2 guys draped on him, and is able to get the ball over the line, that white line. Dominant there from Florida State's running back room so far, which is currently at 330 yards rushing. 330 yards. Absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Let's see. So who all has run the ball for Florida State today? Gavin Sawchuk, Mekhi Danzy, Tommy Castellanos, Jalen Lucas, Usman Croma, Samuel Singleton, Cam Davis, and Kevin Sperry. That's a lot of guys. Was that 8? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, 8 players for Florida State on 33 attempts, currently averaging 10 yards per carry. That's pretty damn impressive. On the receiving side, you had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 players with receptions. Mekhi Danzy leading the day, though, with 112 yards. If we go up to the offense, nearing 600, they're at 599 right now, but 600 practically yards on the day. And 269 on air, 330 in rushing. The one thing we knew about Gus Malzahn when he was arriving, that he was going to want to run the ball and run it with physicality, make holes for his running backs. And sure enough, that's happening. It does help too when you have the threat of a quarterback that knows how to run the ball, who practically is a running back with Thomas Castellanos. But also too, this happens as well with Kevin Sperry, who, defensive coordinators had to prepare for a guy like that, because just going off of his high school tape, he is not afraid to tuck it and go. But right there, really nice drive there from Kevin Sperry, the true freshman. We'll see if we'll see Brock Glenn. I don't know if we'll see Brock Glenn in the third quarter. I would expect maybe in the fourth quarter, but we'll see. We'll see. Yep. Yeah, we'll see how long Kent State and that defense want to be out there. I mean, this could get really, 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 really ugly. I predicted 69-10 for this game, so we'll see. I wouldn't be shocked, though, if this goes over. My prediction, at least in Florida State's scoring department. Was there really an Arch Manning commercial there? Yikes. Yeah, what's going on with Texas, man? I necessarily didn't think Arch Manning was going to be the next Peyton Manning. I don't think any of us really expected that. I thought he'd be good, but I didn't think so highly on Arch Manning, to be honest with you. I'm not saying that I called it or anything, but I don't know about y'all, but I wasn't a whole ton of special. I know he played last year, but for the most part, that was against some second, third teamers. All right, let's see. Let's get back to full screen. Bang. Wow, last year was so bad, I feel like I've chosen to erase it from my memory. I try to do that. I just sadly have to do this for my job, so I continue to go back and look at things from last year, but it's very, very scary. Also, too, let's keep an eye on the end zones here. The end zones look a lot better, so shout out to whoever's doing the paint over there. Shout out to the paint crew. But the end zones look better, and also, too, the Seminole head looks a lot better. It doesn't look like it's deteriorating after the first quarter, even during warm-ups. Like, great job on the paint job. Shout out to the paint crew. Whoever you are, if you're listening or if you're watching this afterward, shout out to you. Deuce Robinson, that was a great block here. All right, that's scary to watch there with Thomas Castellanos getting hurt, but it's great to know that he's fine. He's good. Everything's great. Let's don't show that again. But yeah, he's chopping it up over there with his guys on the sideline. But we're back out onto the field. The defense is on as well. What do we got? We've got Charles Lester here starting at the bottom here at the cornerback position. Got a handful of starters still out there on defense. Keep an eye on number 15, Shamar Arnu. This staff, I know I've said this a lot today, and I'll probably keep saying that for the next couple of weeks, but this guy was, when I say he was competing for a potential starting job at the cornerback position, he really was, and shined since arriving here as a true freshman. Shamar Arnu will be a starting cornerback for Florida State, and they feel very highly that he could be someone that can jump in right away for you if need be. Number 15 for Florida State's defense. We got Daryl Desir right there, I believe. Yeah. There's Devontae Diggs in the game as well. Shout out to the paint crew. Shout out. Cheers. Cheers to them. All right. We got Daryl Desir coming off this left side. KJ Sampson looks like. Ooh. Let's see. All right, let's look over at the defensive side of the ball. I want to look at some stats here from some of these guys. All right, Earl Little Jr. actually tied with Darrell Jackson and James Williams for the most tackles on the team with 4. We got Edwin Joseph there. Elijah Herring has recorded a sack here on the stat line. Also has a tackle for loss. Darrell Jackson, James Williams, there have half. Okay, Mandrell Desir there with a sack there recorded for him as well. 2 sacks for Florida State. I thought we'd see a little bit more there. I mean, I know we're just beginning the second half, but I think Florida State would like to get into that 6 or 7 range and some sacks. But good performance so far. The one thing that I took away from not only the Alabama game, because we did see the 2 deep guys get in there as well, but the 3 deep, you've got guys that are walk-ons, preferred walk-ons. They've come in and have not looked like things look strange to them. And I think that shows how well this coaching staff has been able to get things down with them of what they need to do assignment-wise, where they need to be. And also, too, with how Tony White has arrived, you have to play with physicality. You're not going to see the playing field unless you're playing with a high caliber amount of energy. And it's been impressive so far. So nice start here from the defense. I'd like to see them get back there into the quarterback a little bit more. So we'll see. How true is that Manning commercial? You think Earl Little Jr. stays for 1 more year? Or is he helping an NFL team next year? Good question. If he plays how he did against Alabama and how he's looked so far throughout the season, I think that's where you got to entertain something like that for Earl Little Jr. The way that he played, which we can really go off of a really top tier opponent like Alabama and the talent that they brought, it was excellent. And to me, we'll just have to be about him and what he wants to do moving forward. But he's an absolute stud. And I've loved the way that he's came in. He told us in the interview last week that is on our YouTube channel that, he spoke with Tony White, because I asked him, you could have easily maybe looked elsewhere, transferred elsewhere and such, but you decided to stick here again after, a season that you didn't feel like you were fully playing at the caliber that you thought you would under Adam Fuller's defense. And he said, all it took was one conversation with Tony White and taking over that rover position, which is really important in his scheme. And we heard a lot of good things during the spring and the fall about our little junior, but we're not out there practices, so you just have to hear things. And for the most part, you're hearing that from Florida State sources. So, it's always going to be pretty optimistic or pro whatever the player that you're talking about. But when you see it out on the field and the way that he's performing, it goes to show. It really does go to show that this is one of your star players on defense and overall for the team. All right, we've got Brock Glenn in now at quarterback. Just, I believe, underthrown a ball there on a screen. I don't know what that was. Here we go. There was a deep shot there from Brock Glenn to Elijah Moore. Elijah Moore is so lengthy, man. He's so lengthy and rangy. Those kind of balls, though, Brock's got to get shorter on, obviously, because you want to take advantage of that length and ranginess that Elijah Moore brings. He's not going to be a speedster for the most part, but what is that? I don't really understand what that was or what that play call was there. The offensive line just allowed for Brock Glenn to get absolutely torched there in the backfield and take a shot to Elijah Moore. Doesn't matter, though, because there is a flag on Kent State. I don't know what that was. Okay, so offensive line just staying there and understood the offsides penalty that I believe was called. Good blocking there. Brock Glenn's going to take off and run. He's going to take a shot there to the shoulder, but he's fine and gets about an 8-yard gain for him. All right, here we go. Samuel Singleton is in the game. I'm watching this tackle position. Good blocking. Woo! He just took a huge hit, but Samuel Singleton just brushes that off and plays with physicality and is able to get almost a first down, about an 8-yard gain from him. Wow, that was impressive. He took a serious shot. I heard that. I don't have the volume too loud on here, so then it doesn't overlap to my mic for you guys, but that was a nasty shot that he took, but was able to keep going. And that's kind of been the theme of this running back room so far to begin the season. Not easy to take down all across the board. Ooh! He just took another big lick there, but didn't go down. But Florida State can't get anything going there on the ground. Third and 1 for Florida State. Let's see what they end up doing here. Samuel Singleton is going to be in the backfield. Let's see what we got. Brock Glenn keeps it and is running and is able to get the first down. Good stuff. Good stuff. Got a handful of walk-ons, too, in the game as well. It's looking good, looking good, looking good. So Florida State is practically going to be after this game, well over half of the amount of rushing yards they had in the entirety of the 2024 season. It's a brutal stat, though. But here goes Cam Davis, though. Wow. Ooh! Cam Davis lowering the shoulder. Come get you some if you want some. Come get you some if you want some. Cam Davis lowering the shoulder. Loved to see that. Also, too, I thought played that hole very nicely and using some speed. Hell yeah. There we go. Give me some of that. You want some? Come get you some. Here we go. It's a batted down. Defender got back there and batted that down from Brock Lynn. Let's look at this run again from Cam Davis. Great blocking, wide open. I love Cam Davis getting down below there with that defender coming right at you. Drop the shoulder. Don't have to do anything crazy. Let's see. Cam Davis not out there on the field. He got Samuel Singleton. Looks like he might go. Yeah, something might be off there on the offense. We'll see. I don't know if that's Kent State. Yeah, that's Kent State. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, Cam the Tank coming in, man. What a run! What a run! That was nice. That was nice. Who gets a touchdown here? We need quick predictions here. Who's scoring? Who's scoring? I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go LaWayne McCoy here. I'm gonna go LaWayne McCoy. What do we got? What do we got from you guys? Put it in the chat real quick before they get the playoff. But I'm feeling LaWayne McCoy here, number 7 for Florida State from the wide receiver room. Wow is all I can say, Logan. Do you think we have a big chance of winning against Miami? Absolutely. Florida State has a chance against winning against Miami, 100%. Yes. Now, what I love about it is that we're going to get some old school Florida State versus Miami physicality. We're going to get some emotions involved, but that's always been the case. You're going to get emotional play from both teams, but the fact that it's going to be two teams that play with a lot of physicality and discipline from what we're seeing so far to begin the season, it's setting up for a phenomenal experience in Doak Campbell Stadium. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Cam Davis. It's Cam Davis's time, says Stan. Jim's got Cam Davis coming in. Jalen Lucas, Karen has. James Williams has done nothing here. That's on the defensive side of the ball. We'll talk about that one later because I do have a little bit of concerns there on James Williams myself. Glenn is going to get a touchdown, says Derek, on a naked boot keeper. Okay. Brock on the keeper. A handful of keepers here for Brock. Okay. Wesley, you're going with me with the Wayne McCoy touchdown. I like the pick. Cam or Brock. Zay's going with a Glenn keeper as well on an option run. Wesley, I think we beat Clemson too. I think Florida State, if we were to look at the odds right now, I'm leaning Florida State. I mean, it's been a brutal start for Dabo Swinney in that offense. It's awful. And not even like the offense. I mean, the defense didn't play well against Syracuse today too. So it's all across the board. They've got some serious things to fix. I don't think their schedule is that rough. When I was looking at it earlier this week, I think they face off against Syracuse, which shout out to Bill O'Brien. Your team sucks too. Just like Tommy Castellano said that it would. But we're not going to go any further on that. But, yeah, let's look at Clemson's schedule. Yeah, they face off. Okay, so they're going to face off against Bill Belichick. Why is this? They face off against Bill Belichick at UNC next week. Ooh, that got blown up there, the offensive line. Florida State missed some blocks, but oh my goodness. Wow, Samuel Singleton. Really impressive day in physicality-wise in the way that he's running. Really impressive. He's impressing me. That was supposed to be a 4-yard tackle for loss from Kent State, but he keeps that going. All right, no LaWayne McCoy in here, so my guess might be wrong here. Yep, Landon Thomas, wide open. I mean, both receivers were wide open there, but nice grab from Landon. Easy touchdown there. Florida State's about to put up 59 on Kent State with about 5:02 left in the third quarter. Nice fake handoff there on the sweep or jet sweep. Easy cash, easy money, wide open. Osceola's in the background. Renegade, they're just hanging out, just chilling. Get Osceola and get Renegade. Get Renegade some hay or whatever. They eat bananas. The horses, I think apples too. Get Renegade some apples, and I don't know what Osceola likes to drink, but get him a beverage of something. Hopefully, maybe some Oyster City, maybe some Proof Brewing. Someone get that man a drink. It's been a long game for both of them out there. Who is Landon? Landon Thomas is a tight end for Florida State, sophomore. Do I think Sperry has solidified? Has Sperry solidified himself as QB2? I believe he has, just going off the notion of Gus Malzahn and how the way he was talking to media. Gus Malzahn isn't a guy that's going to come out and tell you things. You really have to go in and try to dig in and try to get anything out of him in pressers. But he's gone out of his way to tell us about Kevin Sperry. And I think that told us a lot. Now looking at what we're seeing on the field with him putting him out there as QB2, I think gadgety-wise, Kevin Sperry is more in that realm of Tommy Castellanos and how you can run your offense than Brock Glenn. Brock Glenn wasn't meant to, be in that caliber. He just doesn't have those athletic attributes as Tommy nor Kevin Sperry. Jim is asking, can you tell us anything about the extra point formation? So they're just spreading some things around now. What we did see earlier in the game, they were trying to go to a quick 2-point conversion and pitch it off over to Marquise and Douglas. I think there was a false start or formation wasn't set. I don't know what happened. Wasn't listening to the broadcast, but had some confusion there. That was a penalty. They went up and just went for the extra point after the penalty. But that's kind of just to add maybe a little bit of trickery in case that you do want to do something like that. I thought that's a great play there from Jaden Jones, number 44, who, here I go again, but I'm going to talk about someone the staff has talked highly about, because that's all we can kind of really go off of outside of talking to sources and things that are going on in practices, which are always going to be pro FSU because you are getting them right from inside the program. But 44 has been brought up a lot of someone that when I was getting word from scrimmages and practices, he had made strides, someone that had been bugging with injuries throughout his career. Look at him, number 44. He almost would have gotten that sack. I don't know if that would have been a TFL, though, since he tucked in the ball, but nonetheless, so 2 back-to-back plays from your left edge, which when we're talking about James Williams in here, the Nebraska transfer who came with Tony White, not so far crazy impressed there from the play from James Williams. We'll see if things improve there, but 44 is someone that I've been liking a lot the last few games that I've seen. They just want to see more consistency from him. 3rd and 10. Little screen play there. Okay. Okay, they had illegal snap. Okay. On that not trick play, but practically, yeah, with Marquise and Douglas to get a 2-point conversion. Here we go. 1st and 10. Kent State got that first down. We got Jaden Jones at the top right edge. That's eaten up alive by Cottrell there. That is a preferred walk-on for FSU. Get slammed to the ground, buddy. Jaden Jones. That's eaten up. That's a really nice play there from Omar Graham Jr. This linebacker room is loaded. Absolutely loaded. If you're not able to find that out right now, like Omar Graham Jr., I guess you could class into your 2 deep right now. The staff is still trying to figure out. I mean, you're in your 3rd game, so they're going to get a really good feel before they head into ACC competition. But the staff is trying to figure out who is in your best, who is your 2 deep, who's your 3 deep, because you are going to go through, knock on wood, not a lot of them, but you are going to have injuries. So, but it's great to see this linebacker. I mean, there's Omar Graham Jr. again right there on you, almost in the nick of time to cause a PBU, in my opinion. Kent State coach just picked his boogers. There's my analysis for you. He didn't eat them, though, thank God. But he did just get a good old booger out. Yeah, great plays there. Great plays. Florida State just ran into the punter, so that might be a flag. I don't see anything up on the TV screen, but yeah, here we go. There is a flag. Hey, appreciate it, Derek. Buying a super chat to support the channel. Keep up the good work, fellas. Hey, thank you, Derek. Appreciate the 5 bomb. Thanks for hanging out with us. I know it's a longer game today. We had the delay, and then we had the injury to the Kent State players, so going to be a little bit of a longer live stream, but we're still here. We're watching football. We're hanging out. There's nothing better to do, so appreciate you, Derek, for throwing some love to us, and appreciate everybody hanging out with us. If you're on YouTube, smack that like button down below. I don't know how many we're at right now. I actually have not checked the YouTube live stream. We got over 1,400 of you guys across all of our channels. I appreciate you guys hanging out with us this afternoon. Got 40 likes. Maybe we can get that to 50 likes, maybe even 75 likes if you're on here. Appreciate everybody tuning in this afternoon. Florida State going to start this season off 3-0. Ooh, Mike Norvell not happy at all with Suarez. Not happy at all. That is the Mike Norvell that you love to see. That's the one that you were asking for last year. Where did that go? Why did that disappear? Why are we not holding guys accountable? Why are we not in their faces when they cause stupid or silly penalties? Discipline lacked immensely last year all across the board, but good to see Mike Norvell. No matter who you are, if you're a walk-on, starting player, you're going to get told if you screwed up, and good to see there from Mike. Here we go. Okay, so got about 30 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. We're moving through this quarter nicely. We like that. Let's get the time moving. Come on. KJ Sampson. Ooh, almost got back there. Almost was able to get a really nice tackle, but can't pull through with it. Hear the war chant blasting. We like that. Marching Chiefs doing what they need to do. Per usual. Always delivering. Shout out to the Marching Chiefs. All right, everybody. We are at the 4th quarter of this game. How we feeling? How we feeling? I think we all feel better after Tommy Castellanos coming back from that injury, which looked really, really, really. The injury, when it comes down to a leg injury and a quarterback, it's you instantly start thinking, just because you've seen it. You've seen it there on DeAndre Francois. That was in week 1 against Alabama up in Atlanta. And then also, too, of course, Jordan Travis against North Alabama, a very small opponent in your second to last regular season game of the year. Just Florida State fans just immediately, it's nerve-wracking. But here we are, 4 quarters down. Got to get the graphics ready. Let's see. Let me know what you guys think about this graphic right here. Let's see. Let me know. We'll get thoughts from you guys. This is going out on the... Oh, that's not it. What are we feeling there? I think we have to go with Mekhi Danzy. I think we got to go with Mekhi Danzy here. Love the image. Shout out to Melina Myers, who does an incredible job for USA Today and Imagen, and also takes care of our photos for us at Sports Illustrated for FSU coverage. But shout out to her on this shot right here, Mekhi Danzy. I think that's got to go out there on the socials because he's had an incredible day, an incredible start to his college career as well. But yeah, Mekhi Danzy all across the board, rushing 64 yards on the ground, and then also 2 in the wide receiver room, receiving 112 yards on that end, 2 or a touchdown, I should say, as well. Incredible day there from your future star, or should I say current star in the making for the Florida State offense. But yeah, I think we're going to go lean that way and run with that graphic. Let's see. Do I have that image? Nope. Airdrop that. Just want one more TV shot of TC smiling or cutting up to make me feel good about it. Kind of in the same boat. Can we just get a side camera of whatever Thomas Castellanos is doing? I'll see if I can get some more info for you guys on Tommy and such, but we'll get some further evaluation too as well from Mike Norvell and the press conference and get a really good idea of what it was. I'm guessing it's potentially ankle. It felt that way. It felt like it was just rolled up on, but we'll see. Danzy is him. Yeah, he sure is. He sure is. Number 19 has come to play. Look at this guy's outfit. Holy moly. What an incredible outfit. That is a huge. All right, ACC Network's talking to Mike here. We'll listen in. That's absolutely eaten alive from the defense on, what was that, a 3rd and 1? They get that a first down? Okay, never mind. I'm an idiot. I can't see anything. I'm blind. Don't listen to me. I thought that was stopped, but weird angle. All right, got to get back there. Jaden Jones, man, he almost is able to creep through the defensive line, just can't get back there. And there's KJ Sampson. Ooh, boy, some big hits coming down, but Kent State is able to creep down here into Florida State's red zone. Donnie Hebert, that boy can hit too. Walk on safety. Yeah. Thank you, Karen, for all the love. I appreciate it. NG Live is great. Love watching the game and live at the same time. Hey, I appreciate it, Stan. Thanks for hanging in here. You've been here since literally the beginning of this game, so appreciate you, my man. This is fun. We've never done something like this, and so we're going to do it this week, and we're going to do it for the Virginia game as well. Don't think we'll do it for the Miami game just because I'm hoping I'll be in attendance for that one. But I will tell you, if I'm not in attendance for it, we'll run it back and we'll do a live watch party for that as well. I'm hoping one day it would be great if YouTube or whatever has to work out with media rights is actually put the game over to another window over here, and then I'd be over here, and that would be the most ideal situation. So you guys can tune in, but right now that's not the case, and we're fine with what we got right here for right now. But here we go. Florida State, 2nd and 10 on the defensive side of the ball. Looks like they're able to make the stop. I think who is that? Who is that coming off? Side there. That is, sorry, I'm trying to. Okay, that's Ricky Knight. Ooh, I personally like Ricky Knight. He's actually a phenomenal interview too, as well. If you guys want some personality in interviews, Ricky Knight is that redshirt freshman. 6 foot, 186 pounds from West Palm Beach, Florida. Really good interview. Did he make that? Ooh, squeezed in there for Kent State. All right, my score prediction had 69-10 Florida State. We'll see if Florida State can put up 10 more points here. I believe they sure can with 12 minutes and 41 seconds left in the game. But so far, so good. I'm going to throw up the stats. I'm going to run to the restroom real quick, and I will be right back in just a second, guys. Oops. Boom, boom. All right, we are back. We are back. Here we go. Whew. Boom, boom, boom. What game? All right, so we got Florida, Miami. What other games do we have on tonight? What else do we have? What other games are you guys looking forward to watching this evening? What do we have? What do we have outside of Florida, Miami? Because we obviously know what's going on there. We want both teams to lose that game. How about Oklahoma State, man? I mean, they looked awful last weekend. It wasn't much of a shocker that they were going to look like dog blank today, or yesterday. But Oklahoma State, Mike Gundy might be in some trouble. Ooh. iPad just died on me. Illinois versus Indiana. Yeah, that one's going to be a really good one. I'm keeping a close eye on that one too. We'll be watching that one this evening. That is a good one. All of you guys are liking that as well. Yeah, how's that Auburn-Oklahoma game looking like? I have not looked at the score there for that. What do we have? What do we have? What do we got? All right, we've got Auburn down 10-16. How much time we've got left in that one? All right, so we're in quarter 4, 8.5 minutes left in the game. And yeah, Oklahoma up 16-10. Tigers have the ball. Okay. Yeah, Oklahoma up 16-10. Okay. All right, Kevin Sperry dumps that off over to his tight end, number 89. Jonathan Daniels getting some praise on the broadcast about his blocking. That has been one of my things to keep an eye on, is what these tackles look like. Development has been a massive issue for Florida State in the past couple of years. Definitely at the tackle position, having to rely on transfers to come in and immediately make an impact for you. But it'd be great to be in-house and making improvements there. Do. Here we go. What do we got? What do we got? I would say the running back room too against East Texas A&M. Your third, fourth, fifth walk-ons, everybody back there look pretty damn good as well. Jermaine Johnson's brother is also too on this team, and I thought he had some good runs as well against East Texas A&M. I mean, that room is so loaded, and when you match it with a good offensive line, wow, what a shocker! You got something to work with. Okay, all right, here we go. Florida State going with a walk-on here at the quarterback position. Florida State trotting out there. Jalen King, who is a junior, 6'4", 217 pounds. Jalen King actually transferred. He transferred from East Tennessee State. So a good first look at him as well. Florida State running a lot of time out of this one. We thank you for that. This game doesn't need to last any longer than it already has. Let's move the time out and let's get this thing going. Jalen King. Oh, and I had some miscommunication there. Things weren't aligned, and he runs into Samuel Singleton. Not on the same page at all. State. Where's it? All right, here we go. Florida State's 3rd and 4. Interested to see what Jalen King and them are able to do. Good blocking off that left side. Oh, Samuel Singleton, just go ahead and get you some. Go ahead and get you one. Why don't you? That is a touchdown on a 37-yard run from one of your fastest players too on the team. Remember, he brought back a touchdown on a kickoff return against Duke. But here's Samuel Singleton. Great blocking from your left tackle and your left guard on the offensive line, and he's just gone. He's just wide open and gone. You're not going to catch him. And yeah, Florida State up 65-10. Going to be 66-10 here in just a second. 8:20 left in the 4th quarter. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. I'm tweeting out there that this running back room is going to be an absolute menace for defensive coordinators this season. I mean, there's just too many guys to prepare for at this point. And when you match it with good blocking, like, it's ridiculous. That's now 8 rushing touchdowns for Florida State on the ground, which is believed to be a new single game program record. So Florida State just broke a program record right there for 8 rushing touchdowns. How many rushing touchdowns does Florida State? Well, I got you right here, my man. Let's take a look. So Florida State on the ground, 440 yards. Now Florida State has a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 rushers in this game. On air, they've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 total people as well. 21 total people have had the ball in their hands in this game. Passing yards, 277. They haven't had to do a whole ton of things on the air. They've just been moving and grooving, moving guys in the offensive line all across the board. What is really impressive is right here, third down conversions. They're at 100% hit rate at 7 of 7. They're averaging 10.5 yards per play, which is absolutely ridiculous. 17.3 average yards per completion and almost a first down every run at 9.8 yards a rush. Absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Nasty, 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 nasty. Anybody sipping on anything? Anybody sipping on any? I know I asked this earlier, but we're in the second half now. I don't know if anybody made any alternate changes. You got to stay on the go. You never know what you could change over to. I don't know if we're getting into the liquor around this time, or are we sticking with some seltzers and some beers, or we're sticking to non-alcoholic drinks, which is always a good idea too as well. But when you're whooping ass like this, you kind of just want to sip on something fun, right? It is Parents Weekend. I hope a lot of dads are getting some action in on some keg stands. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Hopefully, some moms getting a good amount of high noons in. Don't want to just fall into one of those bushes, though. Don't fall into the bushes. You can throw up into the bushes. You just don't want to fall. You don't want to fall. $7:30 tea time. Well, you got to do that. Are you in Florida? Are you in Florida, T-Knowles? If you're in Florida, I fully understand that early tea times, or you're going to get destroyed with the sun. Stands on the bourbon still okay. Kent State's quarterback just tried to slide or fake a slide, or I don't really understand, or maybe he got tripped up on his own. I don't know what just happened, but I like it. All right. Got some popcorn and hummus, some cranberry juice. That's why I'm healthy. And at 79, shout out to you, Karen. Getting your cranberry juice. I don't know if I've ever had cranberry juice. Here we go. Here goes Zach. Smoking a fatty, but no alcohol. Hey, everybody has their preference, but I'll tell you what here. Terrence Knighton is not going to like what his true freshman just did. Tylon Lee with that face mask right there on that Kent State player. That's going to be called a flag, personal foul, and 15 yards for Kent State. All right, Mike Norvell not pleased with that as well, as he should be. Cranberry and vodka. There you go. That's a good combo. I feel like that's a good combo. I've not had it, but vodka I try to steer away from. Had some bad luck in college with that liquor. Not my go-to. Never will be. I think everybody has that situation in the early days of drinking, that there's just one liquor that completely made them change the way that they think about it. And mine was vodka. Brutal night. No, thank you. California 3-0. Cal is 3-0 on the season. Okay. Got a good quarterback. Sending the blitz, Tony White off that left side, and quarterback just throws that one right into the dirt. Third old fashioned. Ooh. You might be taking a little. You might need to take. No water involved there? No water? You'll be feeling really good here. I don't even know if you remember. You know what the score is? All right, here we go. 3rd and 10 for Florida State's defense. Tylon Lee's back. Okay, this is just ugly at this point. I mean, it's already been ugly, but this offense and this, I mean, his last name is Good for Kent State. It ain't looking good. Good. All right, here's Mike Norvell pressing. Who is he talking to? Mike Norvell being very assertive and hands-on no matter what the score is and the time of how much time is left in this game. Does Florida State get into the 70s again for a second game in a row? Student section is completely gone for this one. They're off to the bars. They're off to Potts, College Town, Township, Madso. They're gone. They're off to the bars. So that is Tylen Coleman. Who is 91. He's destroying that side. Yeah, Tylen Coleman got in there and he's bringing some pressure. Just kind of ran right through some guys. My thoughts on the Miami game coming up in a couple weeks. So it just depends if, Miami takes care of business here and Florida State goes on the road and beats Virginia. You're setting up for probably a college game day. You're getting prime time, 8:00 slot, which you probably were going to have either way, even if Florida State loses against Virginia or, Miami blows this game against the Gators. I think we're looking at an old school rivalry matchup where not only, is there going to be physicality and a lot of emotions going into this one, but it's two good teams facing one another with good discipline and good talent all around, and it's going to come down into the trenches for the most part, in my opinion, to see who wins this game and who impacts the quarterback the most. So I think we're gearing up for a phenomenal Saturday night in Doak Campbell Stadium. The lights are on finally. Get a night game. And Doak Campbell Stadium is going to be absolutely rocking. Florida State, if you get college game day going, that means you got to open up those booster lots early. Guys, everybody's going to be drinking, having a good time. It should be a rowdy atmosphere on Florida State's side, just like what we saw against Alabama. But we all know that was Alabama. That's Alabama. But there's no rivalry there with Alabama. When it comes to Miami, we don't like Miami. We don't like them. There's a lot of bad things that we could say here on this stream right now about Miami. We're going to keep that. We will save that for game week. We still got a couple weeks to go for that. Don't like Miami. These players don't like Miami. And Doak at night for a top 5 potential matchup. If not, it's going to be a top 10 matchup for Florida State Miami. Don't really have to say much more, ladies and gentlemen. Should be a blast. Oh, well, this is guaranteed. We still have more fans of Miami. Yeah, absolutely. Half the people that you saw at the college game day, that they had never gone to Miami and they had not worn a Miami shirt until Miami, wins a few games. That happens every year. If you look at the Hard Rock Stadium, if they're not playing well, no one's ever going to be in the stands whatsoever. But if they play a little bit, people that just come out of the woodwork. But 75% of that fan base never went to Miami. All right, we're going to get some more Jalen King here at quarterback. He tucked it, took the read, and then took a shot there. Okay. Interesting. What do y'all think about Gus Malzahn? He's up here on the screen right now. Florida State, they're showing a graphic, which is really it's good, yes, for this year, but it shows how god-awful it was last year for Florida State on the ground. But what are y'all's thoughts on Gus Malzahn? And tell me first your first initial thoughts of Florida State hiring Gus Malzahn, because we got the news while everybody was out tailgating before the Gators game. That news broke that Florida State was going to be hiring him as an offensive coordinator and play caller. What were your previous thoughts and now your thoughts on Gus Malzahn? Put it in the chat below. If you're talking about Jalen King and where he came from East Tennessee State. That was bound to happen for Florida State, getting an offensive line, getting a holding call here with having some of these youngsters in the game. That was on Josh Raymond. There's a red shirt freshman there. I want to say he's left guard. Yeah, he's at that left guard position. Got Lucas Simmons on the left tackle, I believe, still. Yeah. Ooh. Nice. Oh, yeah. Look at Parks coming in, man. I'm telling you, this running back room is annoying as hell for defenses and defensive coordinators. 44 just kind of chugging along, just jogging like we saw that Alabama defender doing whenever they got their ass whooped and didn't want to be out there on the field. And Doak about 3 weeks ago, that's what we just saw number 44 doing, just loafing around, just ready to hit the buses, ready to get back home up to Ohio. I mean, I was in that same boat there with you, CHJ on YouTube here. It was a no for me, but at first I'm good now. I mean, had some big time question marks as well because what was going on at UCF, it wasn't so pretty. He had given up play calling, then he took play calling back over, but it wasn't excelling to the caliber that you would think it would with the success that he's had prior, and what he's done at Auburn as well. But now him being able to just solidify his work on a day-to-day basis of getting the offense better and enhancing it, it is shown to do very well for FSU, and we're seeing it play out just in the factor of just the run game. It's looked incredible. It's looked really good. Hey, Friday night beers on me. Thanks. Love the show. Hey, thank you, Mark. Really appreciate it. Thanks a ton. A beer will be had for you after the game tonight, 100%. We'll watch some Florida and Miami, but appreciate that 20 bomb. That is huge. Appreciate it a ton. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and thanks for tuning in. We'll also be live Monday afternoon. We always do a Monday afternoon show, so come tune in. We're going to talk about injury updates from Mike Norvell, depth chart updates too. And it is a quick and short week, guys, before Florida State faces off against Virginia on Friday night. So we'll also be having a live watch party just like this. I think we're going to have Dustin and we'll have Austin on here as well. So it should be a good time. So come hang out with us on next Friday night. Here we go again. I think this is Johnson. I think this is Jermaine Johnson's brother. It sure is. Jermaine Johnson's brother looks like a little bowling ball. He is Jeremiah Johnson. Just running through him. Karen, I'm not in Tallahassee. I used to live there. I moved down here to St. Pete, downtown St. Pete, about 2.5 years ago, practically now, which is kind of crazy to think of. But moved down here to focus on our Bucks site, which is Bucks Game Day, covering the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So tomorrow we'll be in there in Raymond James Stadium for their first home game of the season. So looking forward to that. But I love it down here. It's great. And, easy for me to get back up in there to Tallahassee, which I'm hoping to do for that Miami game. There's a film class from November 6th to the 13th. Would you live show? Maybe. November 6th to the 13th. I don't know. We're getting into Clemson territory, but I think that game. Oops. Looking at the dates here. November. Yep, that is the weekend of whenever I will be up there in Clemson for Florida State at Clemson. So that game is on, what is that? The 8th? Yeah, November 8th. We'll be there Friday for sure. Heck yeah, my goodness, my goodness, a new school record on rushing. I was a kid sitting in the stands watching Greg Allen versus Western Carolina. Wow. What year was that? Seminole Express? Hey, I'm close. I had 69-10, and this still could happen. I'm hoping for a field goal, but Kent State's going to have to make a stop, and I just don't see that happening anytime. I just really don't. I just don't really see that happening at the moment. So almost spot on. Almost. Actually, it wasn't just me with 69-10. Our entire No Game Day Here the Spirit group, Dustin predicted 69-10. VZ predicted the same score. And I did. And that we didn't even talk about it beforehand. We always just make our picks and we tell it for the first time whenever we're live on here. So pretty dang close. But who knows? Who knows? Maybe Kent State makes a stop, ladies and gentlemen. We never know. You never know. Decimating. I need a good word for my tweet here of like, help me out here. I need some help. Let's see. I need help. I need a good word for either decimating or obliterating or something for my tweet. I think decimating is a good one. I like that one. Who knows? We'll see if they go to 6. Also, am I spelling decimating correct? Okay, I am. That's one thing we got to watch out for. We can't have wrong worded tweets. Can't have that happen. You want to go with annihilating? Florida State begins the season 3-0. Annihilating. You want to go annihilating? I like annihilating too. Annihilating. Did I spell that right, y'all? Oh, God. Oh, God. Y'all can't judge me now. Please don't. Uh-oh. I didn't spell it right. I didn't spell it right at all. Sorry, that's my bad. That's bad. That's bad. Don't judge me. All right, we're going with that. Boom. We're going to rock with that. We're going to rock with that. What are we looking like for that Oklahoma game, guys? Oklahoma up 22-17. Auburn has the ball, 2nd and 25 on Auburn's 8. They got to get a touchdown, though, but they got to get out of their own end zone. Let's see if I can. All right. Here's the score here for that game. All right. All right. Here we go. All right. 46 seconds left in the game. 46 seconds. Florida State. Here we go. Here we go. Handoff. That one's over. That's going to do it, everybody. This game is wrapped up. Florida State is going to begin the season 3-0, I should say. 3-0, taking down Kent State 66-10. 3 points off in that prediction. So close, but overall, biggest takeaways, Mekhi Danzy is here to stay. Let me get the social post here in just a second. 1 second. Got to get the social post. Boom. 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 Love to see it. Love to see it. Love to see it. And Florida State 3-0 on the season after, as we know, a brutal start last year. Make sure everything's good. Breaking Florida State begins the season. Boom. Boom. Posts are up. Bang, bang, bang. Appreciate all of you guys hanging out here with us. Oops. That's not it. Had to get the Facebook post out there for everybody. But appreciate everybody hanging out with us on the show. This was fun. I mean, we're almost going live here. We're almost about to be right on the dot of 4 hours, but appreciate everybody hanging out this entire afternoon. Florida State 3-0. Mekhi Danzy having a breakout game. I feel like once again, he's going to be a star for you on the offensive side of the ball. Defense holding Kent State down there to 10 points as well. And so far, Tommy Castellanos looked like a little injury scare there as well. Good to see he ran back out onto the field. He's good to go. Some good news for Florida State as they move forward. We will be back live on Monday for you guys. We'll preview, of course, jump into a little bit of a preview for Virginia on Wednesday, though. We'll go into a deeper dive into that game. But Monday, we'll get some updates from Mike Norrell on injury updates, the depth chart, and some further thoughts as the Seminoles head into their first ACC game of the season, and it's on the road in a hostile environment. We're going to really get a good true test of what the Seminoles look like on the road for the first time this year. Appreciate all of y'all hanging out with us. If you're still here on YouTube or new, smack the like button down below, hit the subscribe button, and enjoy the rest of y'all's weekend. This was awesome. I appreciate all of y'all, and we'll see you next Friday night here for another watch party between Florida State, Virginia at 7:30. Thank you, guys. Enjoy the evening, and we'll talk to you guys on Monday afternoon at 12:30. Peace, guys.